Hello, everyone. My name is Jealous, aka Chobo Swaggins, aka Babo, and today with me I have Mr. Phasers.
Hey guys,
And today we'll
good
be
to be
casting.
back.
Yes, welcome back. Today we'll be casting the Rookie Star League groups B and C from the second round of 16. So, for those of you that don't know, basically how it works is they had a bunch of players, I think 24, and 16 players were placed into a four group MSL style, which is the like you have you have two 1v1s matches, then you have the winners match, and the winner of that advances. Then you have the losers match, and then the winner of the losers match faces against the loser of the winners match. So a little bit of a tongue twister to describe verbally, but we'll guide you through it as we go through the games. And we will be, and after that round of 16, the people that graduated, so the eight people who moved out of the first round of 16, they got paired against the eight seeded players for another round of 16 with four groups. And that's what we're casting today. We're casting the second round, and we're casting groups B and C. So without further ado, I think we could just hop right into it.
Let's get it.
Let me just make sure I have my hotkeys set properly.
And how many players per group? Four people?
Yeah, four people. So first game is going to be Coliseum, and I believe it's going to be Samar versus MJ. And we have Samar spawning as the no, I'm sorry, MJ. I had team colors on. We have MJ, the orange, the orange Zerg at the top right. I'm sorry about this, guys.
On the bottom right, we have the yellow Protoss, Simar.
I I was thinking about a million things at once there because I noticed that I still have my CPL logo on for even though it's the wrong league, and so
Hamakuchi real quick. Zerg is the race with the purple creep. The purple thing you see on the ground is it's creep, and it's where you can build Zerg structure.
you would know all about creeps, wouldn't you, bro, my guy? Set yourself up for that one. You sound like an expert, man. Anyway, did we introduce Samar yet?
Air and Creep Cup. My name is Fraser. Nice to meet y'all.
In the bottom right, we have Samar as the yellow Protoss. And this map is going to be Coliseum, which is a little dicey for PvZ because of this, as you guys can see. There's these neutral creep colonies, well, sunken colonies, and they spread the aforementioned creep towards your base. So when you wall off, what Zerg can sometimes do is they go 9 pool, and what they do is they send a drone with their links, they make a colony, and then they harass with the Zerglings. So you're already in a tough spot against the 9 pool, but you also have to deny the what's called the sunken colony somehow that's about to come up and destroy your whole wall. So it's gonna be interesting to see if MJ is gonna opt for that. He does go overpool, so I don't think we'll be seeing too much early aggression as of yet. Definitely no drones being sent out yet. But he is going to scout the opponent first, so we don't know for sure what's going to come out of that. Well, actually, on the other hand, if you look at his spawning pool, if he starts saving larvae now, he can make 6 Zerglings at once when the spawning pool is finished. You have to stop producing drones at around 340-ish, 325 maybe spawning pool health, somewhere in that ballpark. But fortunately for Samar, he does find him immediately as well. And actually loses the probe there. Not ideal. Now Samar can definitely pull off some cheesy stuff. And Samar, meanwhile, has 2 probes idled. This rally point, probably he sent it out there just so that he could have something, he could send a probe to build quicker, but then he forgot about it, left them over here. It happens to all of us. In general, if you're not comfortable with the hotkeys, just put them back on your Nexus after the first couple probes. But ideally, you kind of want to send them towards the mineral line so you can just grab and send as soon as possible. So this is a good re-rally now, a decent one. And Samar, realizing that he doesn't know what the Zerg is doing because his probe died, he made 2 cannons just to be safe. I like that move. He doesn't know how many links are coming. And now he's
He
going to go...
just sees them now. Yep, he sees that four popped out.
Mhm.
Checks the third egg.
Yep, he actually could cancel this cannon right now. When you see only 4 links, you only need 1 cannon, but you do need the forge, and then you would wall off with a probe on top. Instead, the second cannon is now just kind of, it's not doing it much for him, it's just going to slow down his tech. Which,
Yeah, still no gateway in sight.
Yeah, the gateway is
There
crucial.
we go.
Yeah, the placement is a little bit suspect, but it's not horrible. It's still a tight wall between the forge and the gateway. Forge below gateway is always tight. Um, but being pushed back this farther back, if MJ does opt to go for Hydralisk play, the cannons will not be in a very cohesive line, and it might be problematic for him. Gas coming up for Samar. Normally, what you want to do is you want to make pylon then gas. This way, you can continue building probes while your gas is coming up. And MJ in the meantime has taken his third base. Looks like, and he has a gas up, so it's too early to tell. I think if he was going Hydra, we would see a Hydra then now. I like the fact that Samar is continuing to scout. He sent another probe out to find out exactly what his opponent is doing, and it's going to be 3-hatch layer.
Yeah, and that's the tricky thing about PVZ too. Like keeping that first probe scout, it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, he's lost 2 probes. He has to send the third one, and
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like that adds up economically
Oh, it
as well.
absolutely does. Yeah, this is what part of the reason why PvZ is so hard, especially at lower ranks, because you don't yet have the mechanics in order to scout consistently. But you need to scout in order to go forge fast expand and have a response. And it's actually going to be
Yep.
3-hatch layer with Hydra Den. I mean, this is normal, I think, so far, right? You're supposed to add
Yep.
the Hydra Den, I mean, the hatcheries after that. So this is good so far. Um, Probe Scout's still staying alive. I would like if he just moved around the base a little bit, because there are only 2 links still. Uh,
Yeah, I don't even think he saw the Hydra Den yet,
mhm.
so this would be good to get a free scout.
Yeah,
Delay the Sair, opt for quicker Citadel into Templar.
yeah, it's definitely possible. I wouldn't say it's absolutely necessary against a 3-hatch layer with a Hydra Den. You're not going to see the kind of Hydra count that you need to delay your Sair. And in fact, it might be pertinent for you to actually get your Sair out quicker, just so you can maybe get rid of at least one Overlord before this Spire finishes and Corsairs are out. I mean, I'm sorry, Scourge are out.
Oh, one thing to note, the +1 hasn't started.
Yes, that is big.
It just started, but
Mhm.
yeah, like you said, it's you want to go for the 7:30 timing,
Yeah.
and this is looking like a not 8:30,
Well, on the other hand, it's actually
8 minute.
not that bad, to be honest with
Not
you.
that bad, you
Yeah,
think? How
yeah,
come?
everything is a little bit delayed because of the cannon in the first place. The second cannon being instead of the gateway, but getting +1 attack after Stargate is the standard, and he's getting +1 air as well. He's going to get his first Sair out, and then after that, it's going to be Citadel. So it's the right order of things. It might be just a little bit delayed. I think he must have banked up quite a bit of gas, is what you're referring to, maybe because the +1 air and +1 ground are started at the same time. You normally don't see that. That means that he had 200 gas already banked up and 200 minerals. So that's why it's a little bit delayed, but it's not gonna be horrendous. I would say like he could still hit like 745, 8 maybe. And
He
Hyd-
needs to be careful with the surround.
mhm.
He's got a decent amount of kills. I think he's at 6.
Yeah, but the losing the first 2 zealots is always horrible.
No,
It's gonna
definitely not good.
What you want to do is you can send those first few zealots out. What you do is you pick off a couple of the zerglings that are outside your base, right? You make the zerg run away with his zerglings, and you make them think like, oh man, the attack is coming now, and I don't have enough to deal with this, so they're forced to make more zerglings. So once you've achieved all that, continuing to send your zealots across the map is not going to do much for you. You're just going to lose those zealots to the reaction from the zerg, right? So what you could do is you just pop out with 2 or 3 zealots, start walking towards the enemy, and then you just go back. You've already done all the economic damage you need. Speaking of economy, MJ has not yet added all those extra hatcheries, and he can definitely afford to do so. He has 1,200 minerals now. I feel like at this point you might as well just add 2 or 3 hatcheries and just
Wow,
pretend like you meant it.
he's got a really fast speed OV, and he's upgrading drop
Drop.
rate now.
Yeah, this is cute. I'm not sure if I would still add the hatcheries anyway. You need hatcheries to produce
No,
drones
hundred
and
percent.
yeah, and
At this
hydras.
point, you need to add this fourth and fifth, maybe even sixth.
Yeah, and one thing is like Simar, he getting speed is normal, and getting it this early is maybe a little bit abnormal, but not unheard of. But the lack of Spire pretty much gives Simar free reign over the skies, and that's why I was saying
Yep.
earlier that it doesn't make sense to actually delay your Sarah all that much. You do want that air control. He might stop at 3, but he could stop at 3 rather, because he knows that there's nothing to stop his Sarah from doing damage. And this is actually a little bit difficult for MJ, I think, because if he's going drops, but he has no anti-air outside of Hydralisks, I don't know how much he's going to be able to achieve with that, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And I wonder if Samar picked up a cue that this fast OV speed might indicate.
Maybe. I
Because
don't.
I know you say it's like not unusual, but
Yeah.
or it's not usual,
hmm
and like I don't know. If I saw that, I would just be fishy, no spire.
Really, I don't think I would have figured it out. To be honest with you, I would have been like, oh damn, my Sarah must be so late, or something like
Oh
that.
God.
Well, one thing that I can say though is that MJ might have success with this build, largely due to the fact that this map has relatively large areas for dropping, both the high ground natural, and you can elevator from the high ground third into the low ground main. So unless the Protoss has great vision of his base, which as you can see, he doesn't really see this area, he will not be able to defend against this in time, unless his Sares are in an opportune position. Uh, Want to make a quick answer to Waste Melam Toxic from the chat. He's asking, what is this player's MMR? I forgot to mention this at the beginning. RSL, Rookie Star League, is targeted specifically for players who have 1400 MMR and below. So this is very much a very noob-friendly league. You're not going to see exceptionally high-level play, but so far both players are demonstrating like a semblance of a real plan, a real gameplay. So these are definitely like I don't want to say strong players, but they know what they're doing to some extent. They might have a few lacking areas, but they're not total
Oh God.
dummies.
And Samara attacks just in time as the drops are retreat. I wonder if he's gonna commit to this drop or retreat back. It looks like he's gonna commit for.
Yeah, and Samar, I think he knows that something's up. He sees that there's no Hydras. Now he sees the Overlords coming in. Let's see. This is the area that I was saying was going to be problematic down here.
Oh, and he reacts quick enough, but will it be in time?
Oh,
He might be
he's
able to snipe an OV or two, but
no
looks like the drops are just gonna come in time
no
to.
no energy
Oh,
on this Templar. 74 energy on this
oh
one. He
no.
needs a Storm.
Storm
Needs
has
a
to be
storm.
done, right?
Yeah,
Yep, there
Storm
we
is
go.
done. Yeah, his upgrades were actually
Great
a decent.
storm, great
Yeah,
storm.
but he doesn't have anything at home to deal with this. He lost all of his
He does have a
zealots.
DT, and he.
Killed all
This
the
is where
overlords.
the five Corsairs come to play.
Yeah,
He
I
should be
would.
able to hold with relative ease.
Yeah, but I would say he lost way too many probes on that. He should
He
have.
did. It was. Do you think it was necessary to pull the probes? I don't think so.
On the one hand, it prevented the Hydra from running around a lot, right? Because they were getting all the damage they wanted delivered to them, so that made him clean it up quicker. But I question whether or not he lost more probes than he would have if he just, forced the Hydras to run around and find these like tight avenues in order to kill the probes. So, but at the same time, he is getting a third base behind this. He is still up in supply, and MJ is supply blocked. So this is still not a horrible position for him, and he now knows that drops are a factor, so he's probably going to be a little bit more careful around that. I would like to see him start the +2. He's had +1 done for a while. He had the Templar archives up at a decent time, got the Storm upgrade, and I think that he definitely needs that +2 coming up shortly. And
Absolutely.
and one thing to note also is, I mean, obviously he has some economic disruption here, while MJ has not, but his macro has been decent. He has a good amount of gateways. This player looks, I think that he would be at 1400, if not higher, if I had to rate his play just by watching this game. I like this fourth attempt from MJ, but I like even more the fact that Samar sent a DT there. This is something that I love doing in my games. I'd send it to this base right here, and I patrol it between the natural and the third, and that usually can help you spot expansions. Obviously, you check this once in a while, and he's actually doing this with both DTs, so this is really great play from him. MJ, in the meantime, though, is massing up a decent amount of Hydralisk. I don't know if he wants to be out on the map like this, but he is going to go deny this third base. And the units are out of position for Samar. He might be able to do this. If he kills this Nexus, oh, he's going to pull back to...
Great surround with the storm.
Yeah,
It's gonna get cleaned up real quick. I do would like to see more Templars on Samar's end.
yeah.
It seems like he's mostly going Zealot heavy, and that
Dark
definitely does
Templar.
not fare with Mass Hydra. It's a mix of Dark Templar and Zealot.
Yeah, and
Like two or three more Templars would definitely help a lot.
yeah, but he's been getting such great mileage out of these Sares, so I think that's why he's
Yeah,
sticking with it, but you definitely don't want to overcommit. I mean, he has been killing a lot of Overlords. A lot of Overlords are are being sent with each attack. So the TTs, they shouldn't be as effective as they have been so far, I think. And there's actually, I don't think, not that many stairs left yet. Only four, even though they're +1. And he's actually, oh, okay, I thought he was getting +2. I was like, what? He's actually getting Protoss Cybernetics Core. And yeah, I kept thinking, like, I finished early setting up everything, and I was thinking to myself, like, I know I forgot something. I forgot to change the name of the stream to RSL, so I'm gonna go fix that right now. Thank you for letting me know, T45. I'm gonna leave it on this screen for just a moment while I go do that, okay? Don't want to confuse people.
For sure.
Yeah. And now I can watch the stream as I'm editing, so I can talk about it with a slight delay. But you can you take over casting for a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Got to start saying stuff though.
Oh wow, MJ is denying this third. Probes are forced to retreat. Seems like it's gonna get held off, but it's gonna definitely buy some mining. It does get fended off with relative ease, but he did lose a few probes in the process.
All right, I'm back, and
Welcome back.
yeah, sorry for that, guys. Yes, I see the attack that you're talking about. The cannons did get taken down, but there is a lot of army here, so I can see why it maybe didn't work out. And MJ's still struggling to spend that bank. He did manage to get that expansion up, though. I don't know where the TTs went from Samar. It looks like he just looked around, but didn't stick around to keep checking
Mhm.
for the bases, which is definitely a mistake. I feel like him letting Zerg get a fourth base is the one thing that will bring MJ into a not into a more even position in this game. Because so far, I think Samar's been kind of dictating the pace.
He's for sure been dictating the pace. One thing that could help him even further is I see that his army is cluttered in a lot of places,
Hmm.
and he's losing straight. What makes Protoss so strong towards the mid late game is their gigantic ball
Hmm.
of doom, similar to SC2. Um, like you see, he's poking this front with just Zealot and DT, and that's not going to cut it. He's going to need more mixture of Dragoons and additional Templar to make any opening.
Yeah, and it looks like he's doing that now. He is going to start balling up. He's saying speed observers actually out already. More zealots, and I think this is just a reaction to the fact that there's no lurkers. And MJ should react in exchange and see. Oh my God, this guy's going pure zealot DTHT. What beats this? It is definitely lurkers. Lurkers would destroy this composition.
Yeah, and speaking of lurkers, haven't seen. I don't even think the upgrade has started. Oh, it's just finishing. It's
Oh,
3/4 on the way.
yeah, a little bit too late to stop this attack entirely, but I think he might still hold on. He does have a fair amount of Hydras. And Samar, his ball, like, he keeps attacking a little bit prematurely, I think, losing a lot of
Yep.
things. And as a result, he does never gets that ball that will just overwhelmingly win an engagement. Because I think it does, like, scale to become harder for Zerg to have good engages as their army gets bigger and bigger. As both armies get bigger and bigger. Protoss, you have generally fewer units to control. You have more available hotkeys in order to do so. So I think that that's something that Simar might want to look into because he's not really achieving all that much with all these attacks. Like MJ is still on his and holy crap, lurkers.
Yeah, it's about time he spends that excess bank. I do see that he's a little gas deprived, and it does make sense considering he's not mining from his third or fourth,
Yeah,
which hurts a lot because he needs to spend this bank. Otherwise, he's gonna be forced to play on the defensive and
yeah.
not make any opening of any sort.
And speaking about defensive, he really doesn't have very much defense on this third base at all. I mean, it is a narrow ramp to go up as a choke, but with speed lots and DTs, I feel like he could secure a decent position and then storm any incoming Hydras that would be coming from the low ground. And actually, we're getting another drop, and it's going to be a lurker drop this time. I think he needs to save some of these lurkers for defense. This is a
He
critical
does.
moment.
No, it's too greedy.
Oh man, he has so many overlords here that he can lose as well. I don't. He has to kill with this drop then in order to
Yeah,
make
it looks
this
like
worth it.
he's committing for the counterattack. The like you kill me, I kill you.
Yeah,
But I
basically.
don't even know if that's gonna be enough, to be honest.
He needs defensive lurkers at his front where the two hatcheries are, and if he gets those out, maybe he'll be able to stabilize. And the drop is incoming. He drops right on top of the cannon. It's not the best place to drop
Burrow,
lurkers. He only
into
has five.
Burrow.
He only
He
has.
only has 5 lurkers,
That's not enough
but
to
he
hold.
had like 8 overlords. Oh no, this is
Wait,
gonna get like
are
clean.
lurkers like really good? Like, I was about to say, like, there's no way that these five lurkers will kill these four cannons, but and yeah, you have to give Samar the advantage here after that. That was not a good trade for MJ. He definitely should have used those lurkers more defensively. And MJ GG.
Man, it seems like MJ just struggled to uh spend his money like throughout the game.
Yeah, and So that takes us out of game one, and I do have it in good confidence that I believe there's going to be walkovers in this group, which means that some people, like after losing their game, they're just like, all right, I'm done. So they just got morally defeated, which you hate to see it. At least play it out once since you're there. Uh, I feel like tournaments like this are a great opportunity for anyone, including lower level players, just to have a chance to get their games casted, talked about, viewed by other people, advice given, so on and so forth.
Right. And it's like the feeling of playing in tournament.
hmm Preparing for a
It
specific
it's a
matchup.
completely different environment from ladder.
Yeah, preparing for a matchup, preparing for a specific map. You have like a week and ahead of time, I
Yep.
think. Like you can.
It's really something that new players should take advantage of.
Mhm. And this one's gonna be Durkovic versus Fi aka Fitrus aka Essie. He's kind of the rising star, I would say, of of the lower ranks right now. Has tremendous improvement potential, and this is he told me his first ever casted game. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he does here. But Durkovic, he's also not a joke. He's someone who has been playing actively. He's part of, I believe, Red Clan. He's here at the top left as the Teal Zerg.
And we have our rising star, the white Protoss Essie on the bottom right.
I'm actually the only rising star that is a white Protoss right now, so just want to put that out there. But SE can be number two or number three after Tim maybe, but in this game, yes, I'll give it to you. He has the white Protoss here. So wait, let me remove this progress bar. And now Durkovic, I think he's quite experienced with Brood War in general. Like I think he knows stuff about the game. Not saying that SE doesn't, but SE is definitely a complete newcomer. Whereas Durkovic, I think, is more like those experienced people that never really pushed very hard to get good. So I think that he might be aware of the difficulties that Protoss may have on this map. But as I say that, he is going for an Overlord, so I'm going to suspect that it's going to be either Overpool or 12 hatch here. And SC's not going to
Yep,
find him for.
looks like it's the overpull going on for Durkovic.
Yep. Very standard play. It's a repeat of. Oh! Gateway first from SE. You don't see this commonly from players who just started out. Usually people go for Forge Fast Expand just because it's a little bit safer, a
Mhm.
little bit easier to manage, less to do with multitasking, less to do with the reactions. But, oh,
And he's going for the gas. Interesting.
Whoa! SE, the baller. I mean, this is probably, I would say, hands down the worst map to go one gate tech on,
Yeah,
but
no, it's the lack of ramp.
the lack of ramp, the forward sunking, the fact that there's high ground here that can snipe your gateway, it's just maybe that's the play though. Like you throw them off by doing something so
Right.
unexpected. It's definitely viable, especially if Durkovic doesn't cast. But I mean, doesn't scout, doesn't scout in time. But as I say that, he does show up and he sees the cybernetics core forward cyber wall. What is this, SE? SE, what is this? Is this gonna be dragoons? That's like the only thing I can think of that can actually like hold a candle off of one gate cyber. Like something that you can actually get something done with is like you start with like one zealot and then you go into dragoons after that, like three gate goon to pressure.
Mhm.
Some Zergs really struggle against that style of play. And in response, we see Durkovic going for only 4 links. Honestly, against a gate first opening like that, I would go for 6 links just to crush whatever the first zealot is, apply pressure at the front. Like if he goes here and he starts attacking the cybernetics core or the gateway, and there's only one zealot out, the one zealot can't really fight against 6 links.
Yeah, not at all. Especially with the lack of ramp.
But it looks like Durkovic is maybe puzzled by what he saw. He knows that it's not something that he's
Oh, we
already.
see a forward drone. Is the forward something that we're about to see?
I think so, and I
Oh,
think this is the play. Yeah, this would make sense. Like I said, I would have liked to see more Zerglings with this, maybe, but it's still gonna work out. I think. Actually, on the other hand, there's already one Zealot out. There's gonna be another one on the way, so 4 lings is not gonna be enough, especially if one I think was chasing the probe just now. So, oh, the drone is actually going to expand.
yep.
We were
And it looks
wrong.
like SE is opening for Stargate Citadel, so I'm gonna have to assume CRTT.
One base CRDT. That's a ballsy,
Yep.
ballsy play.
This is some OG shit.
Yeah, this is 2001, basically. A famous game like this of a player going one base CRDT is Yellow versus Anytime. Something that you guys might want to look up. I believe it was played on Lost Temple. So if you want to go to YouTube, type in Yellow versus Anytime, or Google actually, and I think you'll find that game pretty easily. In the meantime, though, Durkovic, he had four on gas. Now he has one on gas. So this is an interesting play by him. I don't know exactly what he's going for. He's getting speed, but no layer yet. Speed might make sense. Speed is actually a great choice against one like against early zealot play because the slow lots can't commit to an attack while the Zerglings can backstab into your base. But he doesn't have enough Zerglings to really threaten anything. Now he's doing what I
This
tell you.
this might get bad because there's no anti-air in sight, and this
Ooh.
first air is gonna come out. Oh, he's making a scout. Is this the stove?
Oh my God, this is the stove.
Let's
Essie,
fucking go.
Essie is proving that he is the rising star right now. He's proving by this is honestly just a disrespectful strategy, and he's going all in on the scouts too. He's not going to
Dude, this is
transition
a
into
great white
Nexus.
protest that we all deserve.
What a what a fucking baller. I'm gonna be
Wow.
honest with you. What a fucking baller. You don't see this. You don't. I mean,
Dude, and the second scout follow up with the Dark Templar.
that's what I'm
This is
saying.
about to get real.
He's not going for the Nexus. Like normally, what you want to do after this is you go for a Nexus after the Scout and the DT, and what you do and you react to what the Zerg is doing. You either get
Dude, this is
cannons
why
or
he's the
storm.
rising star, dude. You just don't expect the second scout.
I mean, on the other hand, like he might be exposed to this build more than anyone because we have the there's like a stove like like culture in our Discord right now, in the sense that you see who you can get away with stoving, and that's like bragging rights. You know what I mean? Like if you can stove the guy, then you get bragging rights. Great wall up,
Great Wallen,
yeah.
yeah.
DT needs to be at the front. Yes, very nice. And I don't know if Durkovic is aware of this. Now he is. He's gonna try to runs in, but not enough lings, I think, like to do significant damage, especially if they're getting one-shotted. The scouts are finally going to be out here doing damage, killing the overlords. Durkovic is supply blocked, can't build hydralisks,
Oh my
importantly.
god. Dude, and the second scout is just gonna wipe all these overlords.
Durkovic, he needs to start making overlords at the third base that Essie doesn't know about. Otherwise, he's going to be in dire straits soon. And Durkovic needs to be pumping like pure overlord for now, basically.
Yep. It might be a little too late with
Yeah.
the Dark Templar on the way.
And
He
GG.
already knows. That's GG.
Wow. Okay.
Props to SE, dude.
What? Essie, what a god, dude.
When
He
I clicked the Stargate, I was like, what the fuck? That's epic, dude.
I did not expect this. Like, I mean, even though I say that we have this culture of of stoving people in our Discord, I did not expect it from Essie. Essie is such a nice guy. He's mild mannered. He
Dude,
know
that's what makes it culture. You do it in a tournament match.
I think he just showed his true colors right here. I'll be honest with you. He comes off as this happy-go-lucky, like I love learning the game type guy, right? But then when he comes into a newbie tournament, he just starts flexing on kids. Jesus. And now he's go. Oh, hello, King Pie.
Dude, we got the entire squad here.
I I wrecked this Novita guy in playoffs, and he has like a record, like an insane record. Yeah, like 1,200 games, 316 losses. Right? I'm like, what the hell? This guy's amazing, right? And then it turns out he has like 90 APM, and he just did forward three gates. Just funny aside. Yeah, I'm like, all right, I see why you have that record now. Very solid. Anyway, this is gonna be the winners match. This is gonna be Samar versus SC. So it's gonna be a PvP on Heartbeat. Heartbeat, it was played in a league a while ago, like a couple of years ago, I think. I might be a foreign-made map, but I'm not 100% sure. It's unique because it has these like island expansions that are next to your main. It does have a mineral blocking the landing spot, so you can't float a command center there, but you can drop a probe and take that island. And it creates for some interesting games. Other than that, it's relatively standard. One ramp thirds, low ground main and nats, so that's something to consider as well for in PvP, especially. I think that two gate is a good build for maps that have no ramp on them or reverse ramp. Anyway, without further ado, we're gonna check out Essie versus Samar. And in the top right, we have the white Protoss, Samar.
And on the bottom right, we have the Great Teal Hope, SE.
Yes. And one thing immediately I want to notice if Samar is watching this or watches this in the future, your first four probes, you kind of do want to do what Essie did. He sends one probe to each mineral. You sent four probes to two minerals, so two of them were stacked up, and that really hurts your early mining time. You can see that Samar is probably going to be later. Yeah, he's already like a third of a probe behind of Essie, and also behind on minerals at the same time as well. So if you compare their nexuses, right, they're just a little bit behind, and that comes from the splitting. And so we have Essie in the Twitch chat saying that he blames BB. BB is another community member who is a great fan of the stove. Also has pioneered great builds like the microwave, which I believe is something like Ghost Wraith, I think, or something like that.
Wow. Dude, what's going on at this level?
I don't know, but we have a villain now. But if he's Dr. Frankenstein, then you're Frankenstein's monster, my friend. So that's all I can say. Um, let's see how this pans out, though. SC gonna go for the 10 gate, very standard, nothing unusual there. And this is the kind of delays I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is the difference you see right here already.
Mhm.
He's got his probe stuck and then gateways a little just because of inefficient splitting.
Yeah,
All these seconds add up and eventually compound to a greater disadvantage.
yeah. I think he might have made the pylon late as well. Maybe not quite at 9 out of 9, but somewhere similar to that. You always want your pylon at 8 out of 9 when you're building it in base in
Yep,
PvP and PvT. Now he is going gas. Both players on the gas. SE's still a little bit ahead on every measure basically, but in a mirror matchup, being a little bit ahead is a lot, you know.
yep,
So let's see how the builds play out. This is gonna work out in Essie's favor for now because he can scout that it's one gate gas. That means he can go for Cybernetics Core with no Zealot, and we're seeing him do that now. He has only two probes on gas though. I think he can commit to three probes on gas right now unless he has something devious planned that I'm not aware of. See, and Cybernetics Core coming down from Samar as well with no Zealot, which is really ballsy, I think. I think this is, he's kind of saying, like, alright, my Dragoon Micro is good enough to hold your Zealots if you go for 2 gate. Or he's saying, I'm going to risk it all. I know I might be a little bit behind or something, and, like, he scouted me. I'm just going to go for it, right? I think he's just going
yep.
for it.
He's definitely going for it. He's just in the blind right now. But fortunately for him, he's gonna get the first out on his end as well.
Yeah. Let's see, are we going to get... Yeah, third probe is back on gas now. Range is going to start now, too, I suspect. Yes, there we go. And actually, only having two probes on gas worked out for him. I think maybe Essie knows the builds better than I do. Like, he has the gas at almost the perfect timing. Now, Samar, this seems like a sneaky pylon to the top right. I'm wondering if he's going to put something there. He is getting range
He does
himself.
get the Manor Pylon on SC.
Ooh, okay. All right, so
Two probes trapped.
yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, what you're supposed to do here is you stack the probes up in the corner, and then you spam stop. This makes them kind of pop out on top of each other, and you can maybe get even both probes out. If there's only one probe, what you do is you make the probe attack the pylon, because they're not really achieving anything by standing back here. So,
Yep.
Essie, I know you're watching, so that's something the Great White Hope can do.
There
Oh,
we
whoa,
go. He gets all
whoa,
three out.
what?
Wow.
No, I think he used the probe from the outside and the two inside to attack, and this somehow made all three of them stack up. But alright, now he's ruining it a little bit by having all four probes attack. That's kind of a waste. You actually waste more mining time doing that, I think. But, you know, at the end of the day, he still cleans it up, and it is still minus 100 minerals for Samar. Essie went for a Nexus behind this. Really confident play.
And
He
on the
knows...
other hand, Samar goes for Robo first.
I mean, that puts... pressure on Essie to defend, but it also puts Samar on the clock. You know, he has to
Yep.
do damage with the Robo. He has to do some sort of economic damage, either forcing probes to be pulled with Reaver, for example, or trying to push the front and killing some Dragoons to catch up in Dragoon count while he takes a safe expansion himself, so on and so forth. And Essie is going pretty safe as well. He's going with a Robo behind this, just in case, because he's not out of the woods in terms of DT yet. So I like this play from Essie. He's adding his second gateway now as well. Very solid overall play, I think. And we see an observatory for Samar. I mean, I can't argue with it, that choice. Like, he's definitely playing even safer than Essie, but I think Essie just had a better read on his opponent here. Now, one thing I want to know about how these players are placing their Dragoons. Yeah, I was going to say Samar has placed them a little bit better than Essie here because Essie is still in the narrow gap of his choke. What you want is you want to get the wide arc and you want to force the opponent into this narrow choke because as you're standing here, the opponent actually gets the wider arc on you. So you want to make sure that you're getting the widest Dragoon arc possible. In the meantime, though, his Nexus is up, and he's up in supply. He's going to have the second gateway up before Samar, and Samar's playing super safe. He's going for a second gateway behind this. I mean, I think he's going to see, with the Observer, he's going to see what SC has, and he's going to kick himself a little bit.
Yeah, no, like you said, once he scouts the Nexus, he knows he's on the clock. He's on the
Mm,
spot. He has to do damage with these reavers. Otherwise, it's gonna be GG for him.
yeah. And
As he's essentially matched in tech and gateway count, so this reaver will be crucial.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that the more crucial engagement would be when it's one Reaver with shuttle versus Reaver with no shuttle, or
Hmm.
when it's Reaver shuttle, where it's two Reavers and shuttle, and then it's up to SC to decide whether he wants to go Reaver shuttle or Reaver shuttle, and that's going to be where the interesting interaction comes into play. How good is Samar's shuttle micro going to be? How well is he going to push SC's superior army count back? It's going to be intense, I think. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, and the Obs just sees the goons up front.
Hmm.
Saw the Nexus.
Oh, he did?
He knows
Okay.
he has to make a move, and goons are coming out.
This is a little early to make a move, though.
Before the shot.
You need the shuttle. You need the Reaver to make the move.
I don't know about this one.
Oh, and honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, shuttle is actually a great play on this map because you can get these island expansions too. I mean, they are rangeable from down low. They can be stormed up top, but it's a quick way to jump back into the game without maybe your opponent noticing. If you take another island, like let me see if I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, if you take a different island, there's a chance that SC might not spot it. So that might be the play for Samar if he's not going to push this issue right now. Is take a quick third with the shuttle.
But I don't see a shuttle in sight, so it seems like he's rather opting for the defensive, and he's going to play from behind.
Hmm. I don't know about that. I mean, he is throwing down his Nexus now, but I would love to have seen a second Reaver on the way
Yeah,
or a shuttle on the way. I see in the chat saying that I'm not good, but I'm here for a reason. And yeah, that makes sense, but that's why we're here for a reason too. We're here to help out a little bit, point out some of the minor mistakes you might be making. But so far looking good, SC. Can't really argue with it. Let's see. Second Reaver is on the way now, a little bit delayed by the Nexus. I would have on. Oh, and he's getting shuttle speed actually. This is an interesting play. He's gonna try to go for the harass victory, or not harass victory, harass advantage. And he does have decent vision of his opponent here. No anti-air defense from Essie at this point in the game when you're playing like mostly blind. Considering Essie's, I don't think he has observers inside the base. Wait, let me double check. Yeah, no vision of his opponent. So when you're in this situation, you're at an amount of dragoons that is almost like too much to be able to use them effectively here. You want to leave a couple in your mineral line in the back, a couple in your main, just to stop those potential drops. And actually, he's going for mass cannons to make up for his lack of vision.
and
So,
Messi does load up a probe. He's going for the island expansion, like you mentioned, which is,
mhm,
I think, a great play on his end. He knows that he's ahead economically.
yeah.
Um,
But against Speed Shuttle though, he's not gonna have any defenses up here in order to stop Reaver harass. So
no,
this might go back on him as well. Right now, Samar making that shuttle now. The Dragoon count is far inferior. I don't know if he should be so ballsy moving out like this before the Reavers get there. Because if they're,
what I do would like to see from Messi is I do see that he has two observers at his match.
mhm,
He's not getting any value out of them.
yeah,
Um,
there we go.
there we go. Yep.
One should be around here behind the natural high ground, so you can see
Yeah.
shuttles flying in, and one
Always.
should be in the enemy's base, or at least take a quick look in the enemy's base. But he is gonna miss this speed shuttle. The speed shuttle is gonna come in, and
This here I feel is the crucial moment.
yeah, Samara realizing that he can't outrange those pylons, but let me see. I don't think SC realizes that the dragoons are there yet. Maybe he realized that they were there earlier. And here comes the drop,
Oh
and this
wow.
should force a cancel. I think it might have been better to drop the mineral line first, though. To be honest with you, this is not that big of a loss. Canceling one Nexus is only a loss of like I think 133 resources.
Dude, and he's attacking the pylons. This
Yeah,
actually might be in Essie's favor. Scarabs cost 15 each.
and this counterattack though,
Oh god.
this could be extremely problematic because Samar has nothing left at home.
Smart play by Essie. He knows
Yeah,
that Reavers are just wasting time dicking
yeah,
around, killing idle pylons so he's just gonna go for the counter instead.
yeah. Very nice play for here from here.
Very, very smart play. Very well aware.
And thank you for the follow, Plager. Nice name. He has Gur written as in like the Gur, the original Protoss
Grr.
Hope, right? The original white Protoss Hope.
Oh god. And this might be a little too late to pull back. I don't
Hmm.
know. He's gonna lose his Nexus.
The Reavers are the Reavers with him? Yeah, they are. Okay.
They just, yeah, they're
If
just
he
reinforcing him.
manages this well, because this his first engage was not bad. One Reaver shot's gonna be a fatty. He needs to be managing this well. Oh, almost picked
Oh
up at the right
no.
time.
Oh, and he loses the
Oh,
shuttle. That hurts.
and Essie with
He just
the
capitalized the moment.
yeah,
That's
very solid
GG.
play. I
Wow.
mean,
Good game, well played.
intelligent play from him. One thing I think like the three cannons in the main Nexus were a little bit excessive. I would have liked to see like maybe one for each base. You don't need
Yeah,
more than
and
that.
I think that could have been avoided altogether
Hmm.
just by moving that observer a little earlier, just to get a gauge on what he's doing.
Yeah, and
Once he
have
spotted the robotics facility, he should have just camped like 2 or 3 goons just to prevent the initial drop. So
yeah.
other than that, I don't know. I
Hmm.
feel like SE played very well.
Yeah, and for Samara, I mean, I think he had the right idea. He just didn't execute that well. Like he chose the wrong priority. This Nexus was not a priority. A Nexus is always less valuable than probes, almost
Mhm.
always. Like I mean, there's very few like fringe situations where that's true, but that's not true rather. But in the early game, I mean, with two Nexi, you can produce probes only so quickly, right? So losing 12 probes to a fatty Reaver attack, that's enough to set you really far behind. So definitely think that he could have attacked the probes. I mean, I think that was before the cannons were up as well, and at least he could have outranged the cannons as well, which is another reason why the cannons are not the greatest thing as defense against Reavers. For example, imagine if he dropped under the Robo, or like to the left of the Robo in Essie's main. The cannons actually are a detriment here because they take the Scarab shots naturally, right? Like they are an offensive unit, so the Reavers are always going to target the cannons, and the cannons in the middle line are going to hit splash on every probe that's there.
Yep.
So just something to consider for the future. We have, by the way, Phaser's my co-caster is Amnesiac in the chat. I'm gonna mod you later, so but don't troll my stream, please. Anyway, that was the winners match. That was it because there's the other two players. I think they decided that they were not going to continue playing, or they maybe couldn't show up. There are of course difficulties. Oh, you're wait what? Wait, who's Amnesiac then?
I don't know.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Wasn't your name Amnesiac?
No, it was Amnesia on PL.
You bastard. Alright, I'm so sorry, Amnesiac. I confused you for an asshole. Uh, no, Amnesiac, I'm sorry. This is not part of the CPL preseason. This is part of Rookie Star League. I accidentally put up the wrong title for the game, or rather, I didn't switch the title. Let me see if I can show you what.
Yo, what's up, Justin?
Yeah, Justin in the chat, by the way. I forgot to give a shout out to him real quick. Yeah,
The
this is Rookie Star
legendary
League.
Justin.
Some of these players are going to be in CPL. I know Essie's in CPL, so this is tangentially related.
This
But
is kind of like the D ranks individual team league, but for
yeah,
CPL. Okay.
yeah, but more kind of like keyboard rank individual
Yeah.
team league. Anyway, with all that being said, Samar is advancing as the second seed from the group despite losing here, and Essie is going to advance as the first seed out of this group. So congratulations to Essie. The, moving on in style with the stove. And now we're gonna go to Group C, where we're gonna have all 5 games for this group, and we have another stalwart of the El Master Beginner Discord scene here, and his name is Buenaventura. He's another super positive guy. Like he's always in the chat, like with smiley faces and talking about how he got rocked on ladder, but how he loves the game. Like they're the kind of people that like their attitude is something that you wish you could emulate. You know.
Yeah, no, that's the mentality you need to
Hmm.
strive.
Uh, Phasers, can I get a 1, 2, 3 for you?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think the problem is like when we both talk at the same time, your voice is a little bit harder to hear. Let me see if I can raise your voice a little bit.
Thank you.
Hmm. Maybe you should get a better mic, my guy.
Oh, I do need a better mic.
All right,
That's facts.
all right. So this game we're gonna have. Oh, I forgot to switch my stream thing, my bobber. Good thing I noticed that on time. Um, Buenaventura is going to be in this game. That's why I bring him up, and we're going to find out who he's playing against first as soon as the game starts because I forgot to check. 100% honesty, guys. 100% honesty. Yo, Justin, that's big talk for a guy who for whom he bought your computer. Oh, okay, yeah, all right, that makes it better. All right, so
Cam straight.
he's gonna be playing against Conway Twitty, sorry, and I believe he's also a CPL player. Um, Buenaventura spawning as the white Zerg at the top left.
And on the bottom left, we have Conway Twitty, Teal Terran.
So ZVT, I know that Buenaventura does not like this matchup. His biggest gripes is the build that's becoming a little bit more popular, I think, nowadays, which is like the 5 factory Goliath build.
Mhm.
And
This is off Rax FE or one base?
Rax FE. You can't go 5 fact Goliath off one base phasers. What are you smoking, my guy?
Dude, it's been done.
It's
Plus one.
with one base, 5 fact,
You already know, dude.
done by
I,
you.
I know. I know some pro gamers did like 4 fact. So
Uh,
I don't know if 5 fact is out of the equation, considering this level of play.
True, true. Um, we're already getting cheers in the chat for Buenaventura. As I said, he's definitely a community favorite. Definitely been working a lot on his play. He doesn't have a lot of time to play, but he plays like 1 hour every day, which I think is the best way to practice. Like even if you only have 30 minutes to play every day, playing every day is the best way to get better. That's it. It's scientifically proven. Not in Brood War and other stuff, but it still applies to Brood War. And Conway Twitty, interesting first depot placement. Um, there's nothing that yeah, and the barracks a little bit
I
of
disagree with this barracks placement.
yeah. All right, so tell me why.
So because this is a rampless map, right?
Mhm.
So if he does go pool first, it's in an awkward spot where like if the second or third marine spawn, they're not going to be a good position to support that first marine.
Mhm.
Normally for this in this type of position, I prefer to wall with Rax Depot. I'm typically not a fan of rampless maps, so I like to play it as safe as possible in case of threat of Zergling.
Yep, great point. Absolutely, and you want the Marines to be out as early as possible in the choke point. So
Yep.
definitely something to consider when making your base layout against Zerg. But fortunately for Conway, Buena is going for the very safe, very standard 12 hatch. He's one of those players that there's some people who are motivated to just cheese because they're at low ranks and they know that it gets
Yeah.
free wins. Buena's not that dude. He has 1 hour to play, and he sometimes plays 1 hour games. So,
No,
uh,
that's good because you're not looking at the short term. Like
mhm,
it's not about the quick MMR game.
mhm,
You're looking to develop yourself as a better player in terms
yeah,
of mechanics, and I feel like in the long run that helps more in terms of improvement.
yeah. Unfortunately,
So
Buena,
don't always cheese.
unfortunately Buena, he is gonna have the Overlord first Overlord die here from him. He was a little bit overambitious here. I'm not even sure how safe it is to Overlord scout on this map at all if you're not going for a pool first build in order to have Zerglings in time to save it. But going this far in the main was definitely a mistake. And now he doesn't need. I don't think he needs to scout with the drone as well behind that.
If he loses his drone, that's just extra damage,
Yeah,
unnecessary.
yeah, a little bit of a throw here from Buena, but he's still in a decent spot. I mean, he's going 3 hatches up against a command center that like a 19 command, I think, after 2 depots. So it's not over and done with for sure. It's still plenty of time for him to have a chance. But I have to disagree with this third hatch placement as well. If Terran secures a high ground position here with siege tanks, this hatchery is going bye bye. I don't think that was the play here. He could have, if he's worried about having creep at the front to defend with, right? He could have used the creep that was already afforded to him by the map. He could place a colony here, and then he can use the creep will spread backwards, and you make more colonies. You can make colonies on the high ground, so on and so forth. So just a few things to fix for Buena. And I want to give a shout out to Taco Bell Blast, aka Essie. Thank you for the follow. And so far from Conway Twitty, it looks like cohesive play. Like it makes sense. 2 Racks Academy is a very standard, very safe opening after a command center. I think it's not as aggressive as +1 5 racks, but it's more flexible, I believe.
Yeah, with the 2 rack.
hmm Nice community asking, is it possible to mind control that Switzerland sunken? First of all, I love that name for that sunken colony. Even though this Switzerland sunken definitely always favors the Zerg on the map, it's more like, I don't know. There's not even a World War II comparison I can come up with it, but it's like a neutral that is always on one dude's side. It's kind of like USA at the start of World War II, where they're like, hey, we're not fighting, but we're sending Great Britain and Russia and everyone else a ton of shit. So, um, but yeah, no, you can't mind control it. You can only mind control units in Brood War.
Wow, and Conway Twitty's just going for the initiative. He decided to go for the quick academy,
Hmm.
to go for this bust, and I don't see a sunken in. I don't know if Buenaventura even scouted this. Did he have a ling outside his base?
I don't know. I don't think
Oh
so.
man, there's no sunken in sight, and
Yeah, this is gonna do
he
it.
does seem like he's popping in ling. This might be it.
Yeah, this is a
In all
great attack
honesty.
that this is a great
Wow.
attack that Terrans can do when there's no defense. It
Wow,
it.
stimming straight to the drone line.
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Buena here. So when you're doing this three hatch muta style, you always want at least one sunken, and you always want at least, and you want to have Zerglings outside the Terran's base to keep track of whether they move out or not. As soon as the enemy moves out, what you do is you position your Zerglings on the flank, like somewhere out here, and you start throwing down creep colonies like mad for defense. And then you form them into sunkens. When the Marine medic arrive to attack the sunken, you flank from behind with the Zerglings, you surround them, and Buena unfortunately couldn't do any of those things because he didn't have a sunken position. I think he was waiting for this hatchery to spread the creep in order to take the sunken, but he didn't realize that he could just place one here at the neutral creep.
Good game.
Poor Buena.
Poor Buena. He
Gr-
got this next one.
Great ideas. I mean, well, all right, I'm not gonna say great ideas, but like he knows what he's doing. He just needs a little fine tuning, and I think he would have been safe in this game. I'm not saying he would have beat Conway Twitty because Conway Twitty seems like a solid player in all rights, right? But yeah, definitely some things to look at, some things to re-examine to fix, so on and so forth. And there's a little bit of communication about what about mind controlling here, about how like imagine just mind controlling command centers and lifting off if you're a Protoss, right? Like just come over and steal their base or something. I think that would be hilarious, by the way. But nice community saying if I played Zerg, I would always try to take over command centers. And I want to point you to a game. It's Jadong versus Light on Triathlon, and what Jadong does is he reacts to Light being greedy by Light takes like three command centers. Like, well, he takes two extra bases really fast, and behind this he doesn't really have very much. So what Jadon does is he goes mass Mutalisks. He gets like two control groups of Mutalisks and stacks them up, and then he makes one queen and he just harasses down two command centers and steals both of them. So if that's what your shtick is, that's what your Brood War fetish is, which is stealing Terran command centers. Highly recommend that game.
And that series, actually. That
Yeah.
was a great series.
I think Jadong was just super mad at that point.
Yeah, no, he was down 1-2, and they just went in.
Yeah, and that's because Light was like on his god tier level.
Yep.
Anyway, real quick though, before we get into it, we have some more notable community figures in this game. We have Jake Pliskin, who is the orange Zerg at the top right, and he's in the chat right now. Hello, Jake.
And on the bottom left, we have the white Protoss ID1. Any background on these two players?
Yes, ID1 is also Mr. Wizard. That's his like Discord name. He is let's say he's on a redemption arc right now. Okay, so when he became a moderator in the El Master Beginner Discord very early on, like something like in the first few days, because he casted also, and El Master made like basically me and him the other moderators because we're both casters too. And very early on, this guy had a bit of an ego about himself. He's like, yeah, I play at like 1200 MMR, but my understanding is easily 1600, right? And I'm just like, like you hear about these low-level strategy geniuses all the time, right? Like, oh, if I just played faster, I'd be like Flash, you know? But like,
Yeah.
it never really works out that way, does it, right? Because then you get to like your 250 APM and you're still like 1600 MMR, and then you start thinking to yourself like, ooh. But anyway, so the reason it's a redemption arc is because he has found the fault in his ways, and now he is trying to clean up his act and just play good StarCraft, and I respect that. Jake Pliskin, he is very active in the chats as well as CPL chat, as well as Foreign BW, I believe, and on Team Liquid as well. And I talked about this the other day when we were doing the CPL drafts. Like, whenever I read a post of his or a message of his, it seems like it was written by like a newspaper journalist. You know, I mean, like proper sentences, varied sentence structure, talking about detailed stuff. You know, like so he definitely thinks critically about the game. Excuse me, one sec. Definitely thinks critically about the game, which is a great skill to have, and a great and holy crap, 1,000 APM by the way. Did you notice that?
Dude, this is crazy.
He's holding down one somewhere. I think it's not. It has to be on the Overlord that's moving out.
Is this July 3rd?
um, so Jake Pliskin, it looks like he went for overpool into 12 hatch, which is standard. He's gonna get two Zerglings only, and meanwhile, Mr. Wizard going for only one cannon in reaction to this. Good, I like it. The wall is a little bit suspect. I feel like these players are not practicing the maps as much as they should. One suggestion for any of our other fellow strategy geniuses out there is that when you're practicing a map like this, memorize the pylon placement that works for you, right? Load up single player, play around with the placements, like do the cheats like Operation CWAL, which makes your buildings build instantly, do Show Me the Money, which gives you mad money. Um, and then after that, make a bunch of zealots so you can keep trying different formations. And what you do is you place like you start placing your pylon in different places. Like you start thinking, okay, I need to look at this elbow joint and place it to the right of that elbow joint, for example, or I need to place it on.
Didn't some players back in the day like print out like I guess like a screen cap
It's not some
of like
player.
wall placements?
It's not some players. It's only me. I did that.
Only you?
I did
Okay.
that. I did that.
I mean,
Uh,
alternatively, if you have the technology to support it, you could just do dual monitor and just search liquid.
hmm And I saw that Mr. Wizard look. I think he sent out two probes earlier. I might have missed that a little bit, but he's
Yep,
gonna.
he did do a dual scout.
Yeah, no, but he had a scout earlier, and I think he must have lost it. Then he sent out two more probes, and I don't know where the second one went, but I know that one died. Now he's sending out another one. This is kind of like the same issue we saw in game one with Samar, right? Where you just keep losing probes because you're
Yep.
not controlling them well enough, and don't feel bad about it. It's like it's very normal at the lower levels. Um, we have Cold Warp Gates in the chat, another Elmaster Beginner StarCraft Discord member. He's saying he does dual monitor with Brood Walls, which is by the way,
Yeah, I just looked it up. I didn't know that such a thing existed.
yeah,
That's so cool.
it just came out recently. It's well, not recently, like maybe like in the past year, I would say, and it's
Dude, shoutouts to Cold Warp Gates.
yeah, well, it's made by a guy named Bourbon. He's also in the
Uh-huh.
Foreign Brood War community. Um, in the meantime, though, let's get back to the game a little bit more.
Yep.
Mr. Wizard, he did get his Nexus up. He is getting his Cybernetics up. Should be going for the second gas soonish. Like maybe in like another like 20% of the Cybernetics or so would be the appropriate time. He has the money for it. Nothing's stopping him from doing so. He needs to be making Zealot as well. That's the two things that he's missing right now. There's the Zealot. Gonna wait for the second guess. And this probe does see the third base, but he's not moving around with it. I would like to see him go inside the main of Jake Pliskin and notice the fact that he has started the layer. Because it's important to find out if there's going to be Hydra dead or not.
100%. In PvZ early game, it's all about information.
And
Gotta know what this Zerg is up to.
yeah, and another thing is the lateness of the Zealot and the kind of suboptimal positioning of this wall. I feel like with these four Zerglings, Jake Pliskin could have easily run in. One cannon will kill one, maybe two Zerglings as you run in like this, but having two or three Zerglings in the Protoss main harassing probes is so damaging. It's so annoying. It hurts so much. I definitely think that that would have been a good investment for those Lings. But instead, they're going to run back and they're going to deny the scout. Speed is finished. Spire's on the
Oh
way.
wow, and a lot of Zerglings pumping out for Jake.
Ooh, and
I wonder if he's gonna go for the run by.
yeah,
Noticing that the wide sim city is just available
yeah,
for him to do exactly.
and I wonder if ID1 recognized that because his probe was there. There's some idle Zerglings here. He is going to add some more now. Even just this 12 Zergling runway, but now there's two Zealots. If they move over just a little bit, like maybe over here, they can almost completely wall this off. This is going to come down to the minor details here. Who's going to notice? Who's going to react?
Yep, it's all about reaction at this point.
And Jake Pliskin making a mistake here, I think, showing the Zergling count. He's going to run in.
Oh, and yep, run right in, harass probes.
Ooh.
All you need.
And this all comes back to the bad wall at the start, the bad
Yeah.
pylon placement from the very beginning.
Yup, I love that he's sending a few Zerglings to the natural as well, just
Yeah.
allocating his APM
hmm
to both harass points. Very good play.
Yeah. Uh, Waste Melam Toxic saying doesn't need to run by, he can just kill. I think that he could have. It would have been a little bit dicey. I mean, there are three zealots and a cannon. There are probes that can be pulled. I think that he made the right move, honestly.
Yeah, I think the damage has been done,
Yeah.
in all honesty. Lost a couple probes, lost a lot of mining time.
And it should be noted that behind this, Jake Pliskin just added three hatcheries in his third base. He's going up to a total of six hatch. So this is going to be six hatch Hydra style coming out of this, I believe. Um, and ID1 is hurting now. He still doesn't have a second gas, so he's not going to be able to tech into Templar at a reasonable pace and produce Corsair. So the air aggression is out for him. I mean, he's still adding Corsair, but he doesn't have the second gas. It's so crucial for him to have that. Oh, Red T45. I just made the classic caster mistake of or streamer mistake rather of not pronouncing the people's names right. I thought his name was Waste Melum Toxic. I'm like, all right, I don't get it, but like maybe he's talking about melanin. I don't know, but it's me. I am toxic. I'm like, oh god, I'm such an idiot. Oh, great play from Drake Pliskin. He gets the Scourge off on the Sayers there, and the Sayers might have been able to spot the the great amount of what's called hatcheries here. He should know that it's going to be mass Hydra soon, so he should be getting his Templar archives ASAPs. He is making up a lot of money. ID1's multitask definitely failing him after the early game so far. The gas is up, but not being mined. And I have to wonder, like, no offense to him, but I'm thinking, like, where is he looking on the screen right now? Like, what is he doing? Because I don't see very much being done in just about any spot of the map. Like maybe he's
Yeah,
having some
still
mechanical.
no Templar in sight, and
Yeah,
he definitely has seen the mass Hydra, mass hatchery.
yeah. There's the Templar archives,
He's not even making cannons to respond to that. There we go. The second cannon comes down, but he's gonna need like 3 or 4 to fend this off.
and this map is great for Hydra heavy play. There's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, is because it's relatively hard to take a fourth base on this map because of the
Hmm.
layout of the main third natural layout here. It's a little bit more difficult to take a fourth than it is on maps like FS. And on top of that, this high ground here makes the walls really, really hard for Protoss to maintain. Like, imagine if there's Hydralisks on this high ground right next to those Zealots right there. That Forge, I think, could even get ranged down from up there, maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
Wow.
I think it might be possible. Yeah, it seems just about right. So this would be an incredible amount of damage to do if you just park a bunch of Hydras here pre-Templar timing. And of course the fact that it's a what's called low ground nat. You know, there's some maps like cross game where the nat is on the high ground, which makes defensive cannons stronger. This is not the case here. It is kind of narrow, but either way, Hydra play is definitely the right answer on this map, and I like the fact that Jake Pliskin is going for it. But I think he's waiting a little bit too long. He could just outright win right here, I think.
Yep.
Waiting for Templar Archives, waiting for the speed to finish, waiting for um, maybe a DT to be out and him not having any overlords present. You know, all these things are things that you can avoid by just going in right now. And at the worst case scenario, what you do is you just poke. You know, you just poke a
Yep.
little bit, see what's going on. You already have an advantage. You know that like any timing attack that you might be doing is going to be considerably late. Because this is, I imagine, the 7:30 timing attack, right? But it's coming out at 10, by the way. So just to point something out. And he is aware that it's coming, so he's going to be able to control his Hydralisk and catch that. Let's see the micro here. This is a fight that Zealous can win. Uh,
No micro insight.
yeah, not a problem. There's more important things to do. Macro is a little bit more important than micro in this case. And so is flanking. He's getting the flanks off. He split up the Zealots very nicely, and now this late timing is completely dead.
I would love to see Jake take advantage of the six hatch and just, like you said, just poke at his front. Because it seems like he has the units to do so, but I'm not sure if it's just a lack of awareness.
Hmm. And behind all this, I mean, Jake Pliskin's economy is looking really good. Maybe a little bit oversaturated, and that's
Hmm.
he should soon be
Wow, and if
transferring.
you look at it, storms aren't even halfway.
Oof, yeah. That, I
It's
mean,
not a good sign.
he's had archives for a while. I mean, he already has Templar out that have 100 energy. That's just the clearest sign that you were late on your upgrade. Need to have that presence of mind. Need to keep what's important right in front of you. He was
Yep.
probably worried about those zealots, and when I was a low level player, I noticed this from my own play. Right, like I don't remember who asked me this. Like maybe I was being coached by someone or a practice partner. They said, "What are you doing when you're attacking?" I'm like, I'm microing my army." And they're like, "How much of that time that you think that you're microing are you actually just standing there watching the fight happen, like a spectator?" And I'm like, "Oh crap, a
Yeah.
lot of that time I spend just watching because I feel like I'm sitting there waiting for the moment at which I have to do
Right,
something.
like
Yeah,
that you have to micro. I know what you mean.
yeah, and as a result, you're not
Like
doing
it
all.
feels like you're like constantly microing, but like at the end of the day, you're spending more time watching and
Yeah.
waiting for that moment to properly micro. And
Hmm.
during that time, you could have just macroed as
Yeah,
well.
or you're
I feel like
over.
that's what separates the good from bad.
Hmm.
Like the good will constantly micro, go back to their base, macro, macro,
Hmm. Or
and
you
it's
over
hard. It's
micro.
hard.
You over micro sometimes too. You know, like
Right.
you send too many commands. The zealots derp out. The dragoons stop shooting, and you're just like fuck. Like like if I had just let go for a moment, like stop being such a control freak, I would have been fine. And that's something that Wizard maybe should look into because the priority there with the 730 timing attack, it's not to do damage. You don't have to do damage. You have to like see if you can do damage. You have to make Zerg scared of the fact that you might do damage, but you don't want to
Instead
lose
of
your
yeah,
zealots.
like instead of sitting, I think the 730 is more of like a I'm gonna try to poke in, like
Hmm.
force some Hydra or sunken colonies. And best case situation, I can just bust.
Yeah, and that should not come at the expense of getting your storm on time, for example.
Yeah.
And Jake Pliskin in the chat saying, I do this too. I feel like I'm watching and judging whether I should continue fighting or leave. That's a good point. It's really hard to gauge that when you're a starting off player because you haven't had as many fights as everyone else. Like, we're like tired old generals. I look at a fight and I know almost instantly, like, yo, it's time to back the fuck out of here, right?
Yeah.
But
I like this. The three lurkers
mhm,
containing
great, great
and a
play.
narrow choke. Yeah, very good play. I would love to see a sunken colony, but that's just wishful thinking.
I mean, you could just place a proxy hatchery on on the high ground. Actually, I think that would be the play. And that way, no,
Nice.
think about it this way. If you go Hive Tech behind this, you can just make your Defiler right at this hatchery.
Dude, and a Nidus come out, that's bang.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jake Pliskin doing a great job here abusing his position on the map, his advantage that he
Yeah.
secured early on. Honestly,
Great
this,
usage of terrain.
yeah, and honestly, behind this, what's the, Wizard has a sizable army. It's seemingly out of nowhere. Like he's macroing like crazy now. He does have a supply advantage, which is normal in this matchup, but
Oh
I didn't expect him to have
no.
this much. But
With no observer, and he's pushing out? Yeah, he has to back up.
oh, all these zealots are gonna get softened so hard. They're gonna get cluttered up in this ramp, and this is why Lure Contain is so annoying. You can't run out with just zealots. You need to go Dragoon heavy with High Templar, and oh
Great usage of high ground right
yeah,
here.
and yeah, I'm confident now that this Hydralisk can range down that forge. I'm confident. If he places it right here, I'm sure of it. But that's just a minor quibble. It's not like he needs to do that.
I like that he's making more lurkers too,
Mhm.
just to strengthen this container. This is really good play.
Yeah, Lurker Contain is super strong on this map for obvious reasons. As I mentioned before, the narrow choke. As I mentioned before, the what's called the high ground in the back. One thing that Wizard can do is he's floating a lot of money. Why not place some cannons on the high ground here to just kind of open up the choke a little bit, so he has some
Mhm.
room to breathe. Because if you have cannons here, then you can safely move your dragoons out into this narrow choke and start fighting against the lurkers. At least force the lurkers back into maybe a broader contain as opposed to this really narrow chokehold. And I do want to address, continue addressing one thing that Jake Pliskin said in the chat. Um, he said that I just want to remind anyone who's maybe not reading the chat. He said, "I feel like I'm watching and judging whether I should fight or can leave." Right? Sometimes what I do if I know that I'm like kind of like iffy about a fight, what I do is I retreat anyway, and then if they chase you, you can see their army in the trailing vision. Because if you notice, like when units leave, they leave a trail of vision behind them. If you need to go back to your base and macro for a little bit, just retreat for a little bit. Retreat for a little bit, jump back to your base, macro, 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 and then go back and reassess the situation. And retreating can sometimes also put you into a better arc, even depending on how which direction you retreat in. But back to the game. First observer's out. Observer snipe would be crucial, and now he has to fall back.
Oh, and the observer did get sniped. There's an overload up top.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
with no observer, you
Oh
can't
gosh.
continue pressuring this. He doesn't know. Wizard's not aware, and he's banking up so many minutes. He's not macroing at all behind this, and that's the one thing he needs to be doing. Generally, when you're this heavily contained, you want to wait until you have like 2 or 3 observers, and you want to wait until you just do one big punch. You can't just slowly try to push this back. And
And at this point, would you want to make Reaver? Like if you're this badly contained?
at this point, you alt F4, I think.
All that for?
Yeah, this is F10
I can
EQQ
see that.
territory.
Yeah.
This is enter GG enter F10 EQQ build. I'm gonna. You guys should try it sometimes, but not too early. um, but yeah, we had an interesting discussion. Waste Me, I'm Toxic, asking Jake Pliskin in the chat, like, what was your plan? And he's saying, yeah, the plan is purely just to keep up the contain, and that should be your plan. When you've committed this heavily into the contain, maybe you don't need to push this far forward. I would still stay back a little bit because this is a bad position for the lurkers to be in. But what you want to be doing behind this is getting your hive good. You want to be getting your Zergling upgrades. You want to be getting triple Evo
Yep,
upgrades.
and you want to even expand as
Yeah,
well. You
and
might as well.
you need to take as many bases as possible because the way that it generally plays out at the higher levels, right? When lurker contain was still a popular thing, the Zerg would contain and try to commit as in just enough to hold the contain for as long as possible for them to get like 6 bases and ultra tech and or defiler tech. Those are the two. That's the two options that you want to hold out until. And so far, Jake Bliskin has definitely bought himself enough time to reach those options. I can't seem to find the Defiler Mound or the Ultralisk Mound. It looks like he's going to go for pure, what's called a pure Sauron Zerg, but I don't think
Mhm.
I agree with that, because think about how much stronger this container would be with Dark Swarm. That would just be a game-ending swarm, I think, here, you know? And the Lurkers are going down. Mr. Wizard's 5,000 minerals. At that point, you should just double Q in each gateway. It's not a bad habit to do that. Oh, uh-oh, this is risky.
Oh,
He's,
those lurker eggs?
yeah,
Yeah.
ugh, they're already hurt. Does he have any more storm?
Oh my god. No, he does not.
Oh, but each Dragoon shot does 10 damage, by the way. +2 attack up. But it's not going to be enough. And
Not in time,
yeah,
yeah.
and he's still making Zealots, too, because he's so gas-starved. The Zealots are not going to achieve anything against the Lurker contained Mr. Wizard. You need to keep the Zealots back. Ooh, risky
Wow.
burrow again. But,
Very risky.
oh, but he storms his own
Oh, he
observer,
picks him
no!
up. Yep.
So many poor observers have died. There's actually a lot of obs out on the map. Like, they're just in random places. I think that Wizard forgot about them, kind of. He realized that he was losing a lot of them. He was making a lot of them, but he's not using them very well to his advantage right now. And Jake Pliskin's still in a good position, but I feel like he could be in an even better position. Take this base, take the other bases, take all these bases, and get the Defiler out. At this point, it's almost past due. You can't. You went to
Yep.
Hive Tech, but you're still on Layer Tech units. He
I
is.
think the only hive tech he's upgraded was crack speed
Uh
or
huh.
crack. And I don't know, like he could just end this then and there with
Mhm.
Swarm.
Yeah, it should be noted that his upgrades are also a little bit late. This is only 222 coming up for him, not 333. But uh, you
Oh,
want?
and he's going for a cute drop, 3 cents drop.
Yeah, I saw him get the drop tech, but there's nothing left to drop. I think like Mr. Wizard is mined out, so he has to bust now. There's no more lurkers. I mean, there's like one or two, but no storms coming out. Let me see the storm energies. Decent storms. He is gonna bust out, I think. He still has enough bank to take a third, maybe, but I don't see where he can go from this.
Just a little too late at this point.
You know,
What I would love to see from Jake is rally his hatcheries to ID's Nat or Mr. Wizard's Nat.
yeah, right outside of it would be nice.
Because he's utilizing those hatcheries that he built early on to mass a lot of unit, which is really, but reinforcements to arrive quicker would help a lot.
Hmm.
And that's
GG.
GG.
Yeah. You
Good
want you
game, well played by Jake.
you want to see something funny real quick? I showed the
Yeah.
stream already, but look at the 1 o'clock third base from Zerg, right? Do you see the gas path that he's taking around the Evo chambers?
Yeah.
Just Brood
Oh
War
my
things,
god.
man. Just Brood War
Yeah.
things.
How?
The other ones definitely seems closer, but maybe not. You know, I don't fucking get it.
I'm just curious about the drone below the Evo chamber. Like, how did you end up there, my
No, that's
guy?
what I'm saying. They all go to that hatchery down there.
What?
That's what I'm saying. It's actually hilarious. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Sometimes you have to look at this game and just laugh, right?
Why?
and,
There's a hatchery to the left of you.
and he actually fixed the efficiency by putting a fourth drone on that. That's the awareness, though. He doesn't want to kill the Evo
Wow.
chamber. Nice, nice, nice. Well played.
Overall, good game, well played. Yeah.
Very solid from Jake Pliskin. Mr. Wizard, definitely a lot of stuff to still clean up, but definite progress as well compared to what he was playing like a month or two ago. Well, maybe like 2 months ago. Yeah, for sure,
What?
different
Out of
progress.
curiosity, what tier is Jake?
They're all tier 3 players.
This is tier three.
hmm
Dude, he had some like semblance of tier one play from what I was testing yesterday. He was
hmm
solid.
Jake Pliskin's not a joke. He's gonna be the up and comer, I think, as from the Zergs in the lower ranks. It's a lot of Protoss, I think, at the lower ranks that are like
Hmm.
really up and coming, and I think that's kind of natural for the race. Maybe a little bit also just as individuals, maybe it's just a coincidence, but Jake Pliskin is definitely a Zerg to look at. Oh wait, two curbs saying that Jake is tier 2. Okay, yeah. If that's the case, I'm really sorry, Jake Pliskin, for saying that. I could have sworn you were tier 3 because the
Dude, I
MMR.
believe it. Tier two. Let's go.
Yeah, the MMR cap for this tournament is 1400, and the MMR floor for tier 2 is 1400 also, so he could be right on that cusp. And Jake Pliskin saying in the chat, I would have probably been tier 3, but I 4-0'd my CPL group.
Let's go,
What
dude.
a
I'm a Jake
god.
fan.
What a
Sign me
god.
up.
Word, you're part of the Jake Pliskin's fan club now, that's for sure. And Waste Me I'm Toxic asking is, will there be an RSL too? That's not for me to know. What you want to do is, hold on, let me, before we get into this game real quick, I do want to just refer you to the appropriate place where you can ask that. It's organized by Least, who is a member of L Masters Beginner StarCraft Discord. And I'll send you the invite link for the RSL Discord right now. There are other channels there, like for casting and keeping up with the tournaments. Um, so I'm going to post that in the chat real quick, because this is the only one that I don't have available. What's it called? It on my under my stream, like right to my left. I I have like a bunch of communities and stuff. This is the only one I don't, because I thought it was mostly for tournaments and stuff. But this is definitely the place to go to for what's it called for for finding out stuff about RSL. I'm sorry. Sometimes my mouth just does things. I don't know. Let me see. And meanwhile, I do have to mention that is Conway Twitty the winner of Game One against Jake Pliskin against which is the winner of Game Two. Is going to be a TVZ, and I'm trying to go a little bit ahead of myself here by saying all this, but I need to get this message in there. Here's the Discord channel. I got it in. All right, now we can go back to the game. I'm sorry for the wait, guys. All right. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. So we have Conway Twitty, the Brown Terran, at the top right.
And on the bottom right, we have Jake Pliskin, Boozer.
So both these players, I think they kind of dominated their opposition in the first games. I think that this will be a much more even match. I'm curious to see Jake Pliskin's ZVT now. And Conway's TVZ last game, I mean, he had good instincts. He had the killer instinct to move out when he saw that his opponent was not ready. Um, so yeah, this should be a banger, I think.
For sure.
Now, again, this is Heartbeat. It has those semi-island bases here, which I think in general should favor Terran. First of all, because you can land some. Let me try to show the map real quick. Your choke and the areas surrounding your choke, you can get in decent amount of map control just by having siege tanks on this high ground here. So, like, if any stray units move around, you can put siege tanks there. You can put siege tanks there on this cute little high ground here as well to help protect your naturals. So, definitely, I think, a very strong defensive map for Terran. But it also, in my opinion, gives you the option of going for drops as Zerg, which can be a really strong option. Lurker drops do really well against mineral lines in general, and using drop tech to take the island bases might stifle the advantage that Terran may have on this map. Now,
Seems like standard play from both players
yeah, nothing
at the
unusual so
moment.
far. Let's see. Let's look at this Rax placement compared
Yeah,
to.
this is something I can stand by.
Yeah, this is better.
I would prefer closer to the ramp, but or closer to the choke point, but
Yeah,
this is much better than the one we saw in Coliseum.
yeah. I think even what you can do is you can put it. I think that this stuff is buildable. Like if you notice
Oh,
the
is it? Okay.
not the hard rocks, but I think the what's called the little like I don't even want
The
to know.
white rocks
Yeah,
with the hole.
the crater
Yeah,
type
the
things like
craters.
yeah,
Okay.
like the former. I think that those are intentionally placed in the formation of a barracks and a depot. If you look at it, right?
Yeah,
And,
maps tend to do that. They give you like
yeah,
cues with
yeah.
terrain.
And
Like
here's
here, wall here.
Yeah. So I might be completely wrong, and if this is unbuildable, then I'm sorry. But this is what the map is telling me. This is what the map creator is telling me with this kind of doodad stuff. So Jake Plissken is going to get the scout off decently early. He's going to see it's one Rax, nothing crazy. He's going to chase the SCV out, and it looks like it's kind of like 15 CC, but skipping a depot and getting it late, I think. So he is going for the CC. I'm going to turn off vision from everyone now. And actually, Conway Twitty hasn't scouted Jake Plissken yet, I think. So this is a little bit ballsy by him. He's going to have, what, one Marine out? No bunker?
Yep, no bunker.
No second depot either. So a little bit of a flub from him. I think he might have sent an SCV to build a depot, but it didn't get done. And this depot placement is something we talked about yesterday. We saw it yesterday, used well as a form of like a funnel against Zerglings. Placing it here or as he placed it would both be good options, I think. And it looks like we're going to see 2 Racks Academy again, which I think is a very safe, solid standard build. Jake Plissken, in the meantime, going for 3 hatches with the gas. Very standard stuff from both players so far.
Yeah, and Conway opting for the same build we saw last game with the fast 2-rack scat. Wonder if he's going to do the same thing with
I'm
the
thinking.
early pressure from the 2-racks academy.
I'm thinking so, and I think that.
Oh, he's opting for the fast upgrade this time.
Mhm. And one thing I should note also is that I think Jake Plissken could have taken a slight risk and put that Overlord on either on this high ground or skirted it around to the water here and placed it in this behind this little ridge, kind of like FS style
Mhm.
ridge, just to keep an eye on whether or not there's going to be any movement coming out. I mean, obviously you can still do that with spotter Zerglings, but he had the time to move the Overlord there after seeing the opening that Conway 280 had. Now, let's look at the follow-up. Okay, so we have a layer coming up from Jake Plissken, and here comes the second gas. Really good timing on that.
Right on top. Oh, and he's out
Ooh!
of minerals.
It's okay. The question is, how quick will it be until you recognize? All right, countdown timer,
Ooh, and
everyone.
he's poking front with the link. He already got one SCV snipe, going for
Two.
two.
Nice,
More than
nice.
he could ask. Very good play.
Yeah, unfortunately, like that was at the crucial time when he also needed that second gas, right? So
Yeah.
when he took his attention away, right when Brood
I,
War.
I think yeah, I
Yeah.
think he thought he probably got a second gas and then was going for the pressure. But
Hmm.
unfortunately for him it did not work out.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's gonna change his play at all, because like maybe after this he might want to go for no, it's too late to go for Lurker because he didn't start his Hydra then. So it's still gonna be Spire. He's gonna get like 1 or 2 less mutas out at the appropriate timing, but he should be able to add the new ones shortly. And whoa, what was that? What did he cancel? Was that a depot? I think he just canceled the depot down here. That's interesting. See, he is about to be supply blocked. So both players not agreeing with their workers on some stuff so far. I mean, well, technically the drone didn't agree with the economy. He's like, there's not
Yeah.
enough money for me to do this, my
It's like
guy.
we're broke, dude. Where's
Yeah,
my welfare check?
we don't need that gas. We need more minerals, my dude.
I got a family to feed, can't you see? I like that Conway's mixing up his build too, going for a more traditional 4 racks. Will we see a 5th racks on the way?
And it should be noted that Jake Plissken still knows Sunken or Colony at the front too, and Conway knows this. Great scouting from Conway here. If I was Jake Plissken, I would definitely consider start putting down the colonies, and I think that's exactly
Right,
what he's
like
gonna do.
at the
Oh,
least get like 1 or 2 preemptive colonies up and
yeah.
running, and then once you see the Marine medic come out, you can just press you right away.
Yeah, this is the crucial moment really because if these Marine medic move out, he has no answer at home. I mean, he can get some emergency Zerglings out, but it's so much better to get a couple
Yep.
Sunkens. And just to give you guys an example of what I like to do, I like to leave one Zergling here, one Zergling here, which is like halfway through the path, and I make like 2 or 3 colonies, but I don't morph them into Sunken. You save that money for later because you do want to get those Mutalisks out in time, right? And then if you see that he killed the first Zergling, you're like, okay, make like one sunken just in case, right? And then if you see that he's killing the
Right.
second Zergling, you're like, all right, now it's time to now it's time to boogie. It's like throw down, like make those other 2 sunkens, invest, make more lings. And Terrans can be sneaky too. They'll kill your forward ling and then they'll run back home. So that's why you don't want to overcommit immediately. But it's better than keeping your whole group of Zerglings and having to micro them out of the way, depending on your reaction time and such. Losing one ling here or there for spotting is not that big of a deal. But the mutas are out now. They're coming in. I think he is going to be short that one mutalist that we were talking about earlier.
Interesting turret placement.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday we were watching. We saw really good turret placement. It was kind of more horizontal. You know, this vertical
Right.
placement is not that great considering the direction where mutos are likely to come from. You don't have to cover the entire mineral line. Like the one turret that he just started to build would be a good one, and then the other one where next to where his SCV is, and then maybe one under the barracks on the left.
Oh
And
god, and in the meanwhile, while we were talking, Conway's up on Jake's front door. I don't
yeah,
know if the Sunkens are gonna be done in time, and
oh, but
even two is not enough.
yeah, but
Normally, you need one Sunken per medic.
yeah, but oh, but the mutas come
Wow,
back just
mutas
in
are
time.
just in
Yeah.
time, just in time. Great play,
Now
great play.
overcommitting a little bit. Don't want to lose these
Oh,
mutas.
and the flank? Let's
Yeah,
go.
the lings would have been enough to clean up, but
Great, great play.
fantastic play though from Jake Bliskin. And
Wow, he was right on Betstore.
yeah,
Holy shit.
and one thing I do have to say is I think Conway Pliskin. I mean, I'm sorry, Conway Pliskin. Conway could have definitely taken those Sunkens out in time. He just was looking away at the wrong moment, right? And another thing that he did was I see a lot of low level Terrans doing, and something I did for a long time is he is like, okay, it's time to attack. Stim, attack, right? What you want to do
Right,
is you want to stim, wait for the medics to heal you up a little bit, and then you 1A 2A, because then
right.
the Marines are gonna be able to potentially take another hit of sunken, and they're already healed up a little bit. They're not gonna get just insted by
Nice
anything that's
Muta
there.
micro.
Yeah, great control from Jake Pliskin. 230 APM. This is 1400 MMR.
Nice. Killed 4 stray Marines.
Hmm.
Every Marine counts.
Absolutely.
Wow, 3 more, 4 more. This is good Muta control. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is tier two. I can see it
Welcome to
now.
tier 2,
Yeah,
guys.
this is solid. Jake Pliskin might be one of the favorites for this whole tournament. I feel like based on
I
what
would
I've seen.
like. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say I would like to see a hive behind this as well.
Great hive timing, honestly. 9 minutes is a really competitive hive time. I think. I mean, he looks better than some of the. He looks better than the at least the off racing tier one Zerg that we saw yesterday, right? Ash
For
Ball. I mean, the
sure.
Protoss main who played Zerg off race. The his knowledge and gameplay is way stronger than the tier one players so far.
Solid. Uses solid macro too right now.
Great spending
Doing
strong
all
money. I think Jake Pliskin is just a straight up smurf. He has 220 APM, spending all
high
his money.
prophecy. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
he's making drones at his base. Like like usually I tend to just forget to use my new base. He's microing mute at the same time, killing medics. He's at 11 mutas. They're all
Wow.
injured, but hasn't lost that many yet. I feel like even using Zerglings to pick off stray Marines. All right, he donates them now, but still.
Yeah, dude. So many Marines have been lost during all this harass. Holy shit.
Yeah, he has
Really
four
good.
racks. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And like I think the pressure that he causes has delayed the start port timing too.
Hmm.
We do see that Conley has put down 2 start ports, so I wonder if he's gonna commit to a more SK Terran slash dropship style of play.
Yeah, I mean, he still has his factory down. He has the add-on, so I think that he doesn't feel comfortable with that yet. Maybe recognizing the fact that he must be pumping like all military units that he can get out right now. But the Evo Chamber is on the way. Nidus Canal is on the way. I need to see that Defiler Mound though as soon as Hive finishes. That's Jake Pliskin in the chat said that his Defiler usage in ZVP was lacking. Um, Definitely needs Defiler in ZVT as well. The Evo is nice, but the Defiler Mound is the key as soon as your Hive
It is
finishes.
key. With the amount of mutas he has, I'm curious to see if he's even opting to go for a Guardian type of build. Like even like 4 to 5 Guardians at the natural hurts Terran so much and
Hmm.
just throws them off their game, especially at
Yeah,
this level.
yeah,
So I want to see if he's gonna take advantage of that.
and
I no Defiler Mound in sight.
yeah, and another thing to note is, first of all, even if he does make factory units, I don't think they can leave the base because of this depot. Another thing
Yeah.
to notice is that he's not mining his second gas, so I don't see how he'll be able to
Oh my
produce
god.
constant vessels. Definitely an oversight from Conway here. He just now adding the gas.
And
Uh,
I feel like this is power of the Muta harass too. He
mhm,
just it throws them off their game.
yeah,
That he has so much things that he needs to keep on target, but he's failing to meet them.
yeah, and Jake Pliskin again delaying the defilers needlessly right now. If he had defiler mound, I think he could have comfortably taken this fourth base right now.
Yep, 100%.
Move the
He
workers
does
up.
seem to have a canal up,
Hmm.
but I don't know where the Defiler Mound is.
He's getting
Oh, he's
Ultralisk Cavern.
opting for an Ultralisk
No,
Cavern
no,
and a Defiler Mound. Wow, double making up for lost time.
yeah, I mean, he didn't make very many lurkers, so he has a lot of gas available. But I don't think either tech is going to be in time for this Marine Medic move out. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough from Conway to bust this natural. I don't think so, considering there are lurkers here. And he can flank from the back. There are Zerglings that have been transferred to the third base. But I feel like I would have liked Jake Plissken's situation way more.
Oh, and he catches his dropship with the Muta.
Ooh,
Great play. I didn't even see that dropship. Wow.
yeah, Jake Plissken saying, "I know I'm getting lucky with the coverage." I mean, this isn't exactly lucky. If you look at where the Zerglings and the Overlords are positioned, they're in the most like natural flight path for any air unit, right? So I don't think that that's luck. That's partially, I mean, unless you pick a random location to send Overlords, but still, I think that it's just good preparation here. I would have liked to see maybe an Overlord here to see him come out this way. Overlord on the high ground to see if he takes the island. But I
It's
like
gonna
the
have
links
to
here.
get Defiler and Consume out pretty soon because we do see that two vessels have popped that and the tank is on. But it is being blocked by that supply depot that you were talking
Yeah,
about, so he needs to kill that pretty quick.
yeah, and we're
Time is of
actually
the essence here.
we're getting Ultralisk armor. We're getting Defiler mount consume. So all the parts are in place. Defiler is on the way in the natural. Is it on the way in the third? Yes, it is. And the fourth hatchery is already on the way. So very solid play from Jake Plissken. I feel like he was going like full throttle, like 100% good, like decent stuff up until about like 9 minutes or so, 10 minutes or so. Well, maybe even like 10 minutes or yeah, 11 minutes. But then as soon as Hive hit, he kind of like took his foot off the gas a little bit. Like, he slowed down
Yep,
getting his Ultralisk Cavern Defiler mount. And that's totally normal considering the fact that you get less and less experience the longer and longer the game plays. In the sense that you have more experience playing Boudoir up until the 10th minute than you do up until the 15th minute. And then
100%.
so
And like you say, like I feel like up until like the 9 or 10 minute mark, games tend to be more standard
mhm,
from what you practice. But I feel like that deviates as long as the longer the game progresses. So it
mhm,
might be a lot more unfamiliar territory that
exactly.
players are facing.
And shout outs to Boba Life. He's in the channel right now. He was the guy whose idea it was to have this CPL announcement cast yesterday.
Yo,
Uh,
shout outs to Boba Light.
yeah, and he said that he just played three 30-minute practice games. That's what I like to hear,
Dude,
man.
that's the grind, dude. Get good.
And
That's
here,
my man.
perfect swarm timing. Needs some more
Wow, dude,
links.
we got fucking 6 fat cows, 5 cows.
He needs
Oh
to he
man.
needs to wait for the what's called for the Zerglings to come here. Showing the Muta to the vessel, maybe not the best choice, but okay, he's actually just gonna go.
He's back up.
I don't
No,
know
I
about
don't
this
agree with
swarm.
this.
Swarm though,
Yeah, this is
nice.
greedy. Oh, nice swarm. This is exactly what you.
One more. His other defiler still should have
One
energy.
more would be money in the
Yeah.
bank.
Oh, Lurker's moving forward.
Let's
Zergling's moving
go.
forward.
One more swarm would be money right now.
One more swarm would be basically game. Nice
But
irradiate
we do
though.
not get that swarm.
Yeah,
But it's
it's
gonna
okay.
clean up. It's gonna
Yeah.
clean up the tank. Yep, Marines are gonna be forced to.
Thank you for the follow, Shirime.
Yeah, I would have liked to see one more swarm, which might have
Yeah.
made a difference between win and lose.
I think his defiler that had oh no here he had another defiler and it had like 200 when it cast the first swarm. He just could have cast another one ahead. And he actually has like a ton of lurkers in his natural. I don't think you need all of them here. You know what I like to do when I have like 5 lurkers in my natural like
Well,
this? I like to leave like one that like maybe a screen away from my natural. So if my opponent's not careful, the Marines and medics can just walk into it as they're going to
yeah,
that base, or leave it at their third, for example. Leave it on the transfer route between their third and their main. But speaking of thirds, it doesn't look like Conway is even thinking about taking a third base right now. He's just pumping on one base, 4 racks.
dude, I know this is a little off topic, but you know that asphalt terrain?
Yeah.
Dude, that shit is a pain in the ass with workers. I can't see them. Like, what the fuck?
No, that's nothing compared to Ground Zero. Those
Ground
craters.
Zero is brutal, dude. I just have no answer for that.
uh,
Camouflage is
ooh,
OP.
oh,
Nice. Snipes the vessel.
yeah. The Zergling distraction with the Scourge running into it. That's pro level moves. Jake Plissken showing the fact that he has some deep level knowledge of the game, knowing the priorities of the enemy unit. So, as far as RSL games goes, these are two impressive players so far. I
This
think.
is a very balanced match right now.
Hmm.
Is there a Defiler at his natural? Because he
There
might be in danger
there
right now.
was. I don't know
Okay,
where it
he's
is.
using the Nidus to transfer.
There,
This is much needed.
all right, he has 200. He has a 200 energy defiler right here. He needs to use it. He needs to find it. I found it. Yes, there we go.
Nice,
There's
very
one,
nice
and
swarm.
he has another one. He has another swarm now.
Lurker is Shiburo now. Yep, it's gonna hold
Another
it
swarm.
off.
Push it back. Yes,
Nice,
very
very good,
solid.
very good.
Good stuff. Um, you, Jake Plissken saying I forgot to connect the second Nidus to my fourth. I think you only need one Nidus per like set of mains. You know, like you don't need
Yeah,
two Nidus really. Um, but this, I mean, as long as I'm sorry, Conway Twitty is keeping the Zerg at bay, keeping him off 5 base, like he should be in a decent spot. The problem is that he's not mass expanding behind this. Like Conway could have easily been on 4 or 5 base right now for all the containing
100%.
that he's been doing.
And I do know he did go for a drop earlier. It'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see him take advantage of the island expansion.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the expansions for Jake Plissken, they don't have any static defense on them, actually. He,
Very nice plague on the two vessels, but his Titus gets plagued as well. Not
ooh,
a good look.
and plagued Zergunas just straight up die, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Look at that. Oh wait, no, never mind. No, they don't. Wait, so what died earlier? Oh, that must have been a radiate. I was like, wait, okay, I take everything back. I take everything back. I take everything back that I said. That was a common caster error. I'm sorry. What I saw messed with my understanding of the game. um, but yeah, Conway Twitty, 4,000 minerals definitely needs like at least like four more bases at this point. And he,
Wow, gets back-to-back vessel snipes. That's key. Especially on two base. He's still guest star.
mhm.
It's not going to be able to afford this for very much longer.
Yeah, I think this is the,
Wow, dude, and Mad Cow's top left while we were talking.
yeah, they just popped out. Must have
Oh
been.
my god.
It should be noted that they're still slow cows and they need Zergling support, but these are some beefy cows still. And there's cows coming in to slow down the front, but he's kind of like losing his control over here. There's no Defiler here, there's no Zerglings here, there's no more static defense here, and the Scourge were just slightly mistimed, but both players definitely, I feel like they're in slightly unfamiliar territory here. The Defiler's running in. Yeah, both players are
Wow.
overtaxed a little bit as well, but cows are just so good.
This
And
is some FDA grade A play.
yeah, GG.
GG.
I feel like Conway Twitty, he was like so close to having the answer. Like his contain out here was holding for so long.
What do you think was the difference? Not enough barracks? Because he was on four barracks for the entire game.
Not enough
Or
barracks.
was lack of third, maybe even start implementing mines when you see Ultra.
hmm That's exactly what I was gonna say. I would say that there was three things that I would add to that mix. One would be expansions, two would be barracks, and three would be a mech transition into mines to map control. Prevent those flanks from coming out of the fourth
Yep,
base.
exactly.
Yeah. So
I know mines get really troublesome at lower levels. Like it forces you to keep yourself on your
mhm.
like just free damage too if you're not careful.
And for Jake Plissken, I mean, all overall solid. As I was saying earlier, up until the 10th minute, like not really anything to complain about.
I was specifically really impressed with the meetup play, and he was keeping on top of his macro all that. So
Mhm.
very well played.
But then after that, it feels like he kind of lost a little bit of steam. Like he started having too much to worry about at the same time, so he was falling behind a little
Yeah.
bit here. And it's not that easy to just make like the swarms and the
No,
macro
the
and all
fire
that.
play is really hard.
And I feel like he could have benefited from maybe using a dropship, like using drop tech. He had the money for it. I mean, he didn't have that
Mhm.
many units to take away from his defensive position, but he could have added some hatcheries and then dropped some Zerglings. Or
Yeah, we're talking like even just like a simple like defiler, one lurker,
yeah,
two lang. Like it that hurt.
yeah. And another thing he could have been doing is he had the production in the bottom left that was completely uncontested. Like the Terran never went there once in the game. You could make Zerglings from those bases and backstab into the natural of the Terran when he's out of his position, right? So he could be doing a little bit more, but for this level, fantastic gameplay from both. And with that being said, congratulations to Jake Plissken, who is
Congrats.
moving up into the next round of the league. I think it's just gonna be a
Question.
yes.
If you win this tournament or like you get a specific placing, do you is it like an upgrade to the next tier? Like a path?
This is just RSL. This is 1400 MMR max. So I
Okay.
think if you win the tournament, you're kind of not allowed to play anymore. I think maybe, uh, but yeah,
Good game, well played.
yeah. Well played by Jake Plissken. Congratulations to him. He's joining our other graduates from the first series, which were SC and Simar. And now we're going to go into the elimination match and the final match. The elimination match is going to be between Mr. Wizard and Buenaventura, representatives of the L Masters Beginner Discord in this tournament. Two more representatives of that Discord, rather.
Let's go.
And it's going to be on Heartbeat. And it's going to be a ZVP.
This is a very interesting map. I like it. It's relatively new one.
Uh,
I've
it's
been kind of out of the loop.
it's from a couple of years ago. It was used. I'm actually surprised that Least found it. I think he just kind of picked a random one. I think, or maybe he just like browsed a
It's
bunch of maps.
nice.
Yeah, but it's an interesting map for sure. Uh, In the meantime, we have Buenaventura on the top left as the teal Zerg.
And on the bottom right, we have the brown Protoss ID1, aka Mr. Wizard.
Mr. Wizard, yeah. You cut out a little bit there. Sorry, I just add
My
on to
bad.
it. No, it's all good. 'Cause, I didn't want to leave him as Mr. Wee, so.
We
So cross map positions. Let's take a look at this map again, since as you said, like not many. It's not very common. It's a little bit older now as well, and like maybe not, people aren't familiar with it. I think it plays out like really standard in ZVP, honestly. Um, Zergs can take the what's called the fourth, the other main's natural as a third base in order to what's called secure a four base turtle style if they wish. The base in between the two mains is relatively easy to secure with lurkers on the ramp. There's only one ramp there. Protoss maybe a little bit harder for them to take a third because then on maps like FS, because it's like a long walking distance to that ramp. But
Hmm.
but
Quick
once,
question.
yeah.
For Wizard's Wall, if he goes the Forge above Gate or Forge above Pylon and then Gate above Forge, is that completely wall tight? Like not enough for goons to pass out? That's what it seems like.
Yeah, it's not gonna be enough for anything to pass through. Actually,
Okay.
it's well, I mean, it's gonna be one zealot thick.
So
Uh,
what would you do? Would you shift the pylon one unit to the left or to the right?
yeah, one to the right and one down, and that way
Right,
you would.
right.
But this is actually
Will
still,
that gate even fit? It should, right?
yeah, the gateway will fit for sure. But this is still not bad. The reason why is because later on you can just kill the pylon and you can just be extra
Right.
safe at the start. One pylon difference between having a two gap wall and a one gap wall is decent trade. Like it's a conceptual trade off. I feel like. And double probe scout, I like it. Has the third probe already ready to make the cannon. And usually, if I don't see a natural with my double probe scout, I make the cannon right away. There's not much point in delaying. I mean, I guess in this case with cross map overpool, you could get away with going Nexus before cannon. That's actually exactly what Wizards is doing. So if Wizards making the right decision here, it's just that when I see no natural hatchery, I
Mhm.
instantly panic. I'm like, okay, it's gotta be five pool. Need the cannon now. So
No, I get it, dude. It's better to be safe,
yeah.
like in this type of position.
But he makes I think the right decision here, and the Zerglings are out, but they're gonna be forced to chase the probe. Two are gonna come out, so I think the cannon should be coming up. And Mr. Wizard's struggling a little bit with the multitask. He has gotten so much better with his probe control though. Before he used to just send his probe to scout, right?
And die.
And no, he would get to the main where the enemy is not and leave it there for a minute, right? and
Oh,
then he would
that's even
send
worse.
and then he would send it to the next main, and then it would just die upon entry because it's already late and too late to see the link. So Mr. Wizard doing way better. He's been using that multitask trainer map to get better at it. Still needs a little
Good
bit
to
of work
hear.
though,
Good to hear.
but he's doing a good job so far. Um, Meanwhile, Blen is going to scout the Zerglings. The Overlord did not find him, and let's see what Blen's plan is. It looks like,
Do you agree with this hatchery position for Brenna at 12 o'clock? Because it seems like you have to go all the way around as opposed to 9, where you
yeah,
have that access to the quicker ramp.
yeah, nine would have been a lot better. I think it's comparable, but nine would have been better in my
Or
opinion.
maybe he's just trying to mind game, like knowing Mr. Wizard might scout that and doesn't
Mm,
see a hatchery.
mm. Yeah, I mean, Mr. Wizard doesn't even have a probe out right now, so I think that, and maybe after seeing what's called, after seeing Mr. Wizard's control, he's not that concerned about keeping things hidden. I think,
Late transfer on Wizard's second Nexus, which is long started. And he has started a probe, so he should know that it's a little too late for my liking, but
this stuff happens. I mean, this isn't like huge, right? It is something that will slow you down in the long term, but it's not fatal. Um, we have nice community in the chat asking for the multitask training map. Nice community. If you stick around after the broadcast, which should be over after the next game, I'm gonna make sure that you get that. Okay. Oh, and actually, even better than that, what I can suggest to you is if you go to the left under the stream image, where you'll see where it says contact and community. Um, and one sec. And sorry, I read Justin's question while I was trying to answer the first question. You click on the L Masters beginner Discord link, and then you go to Mechanics Assistance channel, and there you will find the multitask trainer map if you want to go that way and join a fun community of Brood War players that include players like Buenaventura, Mr. Wizard, so on and so forth. Now, Justin's question about the gateway placement. He's asking why is it not flush with the forge, and the answer for that is because Mr. Wizard misclicked. That's the answer.
so to follow up on that, would you want to place a gateway left ahead of the forge just so that when the Hydras, if he does happen to go Hydra, the Hydras are targeting the gateway first.
Mm,
Like, what would you do in terms of walling, or
well,
would you want to line it up adjacently?
from my understanding, you line it up in this case with the left side of the pylon, as in like the way the forge is, and then the gateway would
Yep.
be lined up along that line. When you have
Okay.
enough room behind your pylon for cannons, right? But on some maps like Fighting Spirit bottom right, you don't have enough room for two rows of cannons if you place your pylon in certain positions. So in those situations, you make your forge and gateway flush against the right side of the pylon, so you can create two rows of cannons behind.
Wow, and according to Sugo, it's actually not tight on the top. Good to know.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
That's some intricate
Yeah,
game knowledge right there.
so that means that actually this wall is just overall inferior to a wall that would have had pylon here, forge here, and gateway here because
It's deception at best.
yeah.
I'm just hoping that you're bad at not enough to know that, you know?
Shout outs to Shugo by the way in the
Yo,
chat.
big shout outs.
He's the god tier player of this Discord. We should just have him text commentary. I'll just do the obs and
Let's go,
he'll
dude.
he'll type
I'm all for this.
he'll type all the stuff that's going
Yo,
on in the
yo,
game.
chat, press one if you want that to happen.
And the Zealots, they make it into the base, but I don't think they're going to do much. He lost one already. He is waiting for
I don't know
missile.
if, yeah, I don't know if the drone transfer is necessary. All for one Zealot.
Yeah, absolutely not necessary. But
But the
it,
Zealot placement is really good.
yeah, it is a boon for Mr. Wizard that he probably did not deserve. But and especially as I mentioned earlier, losing those first few Zealots really just hurts your ability to have a timing attack. All right, so we got a bunch of ones in the chat. Let's see the Shugo text commentary now. Since you know so much about the game, I'm just kidding. I'm just breaking your balls, Shugo. I'm not gonna do that to you. All right.
Spotlight on my man.
He said, "I'm flattered, guys, but you will have to wait to be called autistic. Busy right now." Yeah, if anyone wants to be called autistic on a habitual basis, if that's like part of your boudoir
My
improvement
man
regimen,
taught you with that.
yeah, you can
On
go.
back, dude.
Yeah, go to the Elmaster Beginner Discord and tag Shugo asking him about Nexus timings. That is his favorite discussion topic. We've had it at least once a week for the past couple weeks, I think. So definitely tag him anytime you want to know anything about Nexus timings. In the meantime, back to the game a little bit. We've been shitting around too much. Buenaventura, he is sniping some Sayers that are popping out of this Stargate, and that's something that you can avoid by placing the Stargate flush against the Nexus here and placing a cannon, or even better yet, in the corner and keeping it in the mineral line. Um, and Buenaventura behind us, he is droning up a lot. He's adding his hatcheries, which I really like. He's adding his Hydroden. Maybe a little bit late for both players on everything. It feels like everything is just a little bit slow, right? But
Right. He seems to be displaying a much better showing compared to last game.
yeah, it seems like he has a better grip on this matchup, but it's
Right.
also because early Protoss aggression can't just outright kill you in this matchup
For sure. Yep.
as much as it can in the TVZ situation where you can just fold over to 8 Marines and 2 medics or something. But Mr. Wizard, I have to think that he was late on his second gas again because he's getting, or maybe it's just because of the fact that he's getting such an early robo. This robo timing wouldn't be early if he had the requisite amount of gateways and units behind it, but it's early in the greater context of this game. He just now got Templar. He's not getting +2. I think you need to at least have +2 started into the robo.
And this seems to be a common error at this level of play, just like the upgrade timing and
Hmm.
just being aware of when that seems like we're seeing a lot of late +2.
Yeah. And for everybody, too. I mean, even Jake Pliskin was late on his
Yeah.
upgrades when he was already at Hive. I believe Mr. Wizard was late on his +2 earlier. So it's just an everyone problem, really.
Real quick, can we get a SimCity rating for Teal?
For Teal?
Requested by Justin.
For Teal, at the
Yep.
natural, this is... It's not that great. I would give it like a C. It still has
C
function.
rating.
Still has functionality.
I could
It,
see an Evo chamber between the two sunkens.
yeah,
Just tighten that up.
I think it would make more sense to make the entrance for the zealots to be not through the middle, but on only one side, so that they can so that they would like hoard up against the Hydra den hatchery wall, like so, and like they would like get hit by all the sunkens back there, as opposed to trying to run through the middle. And he actually has two gaps here. If he put the hatchery flush against the Hydra den, I think he would only have one gap that's slightly bigger. So, overall C rating, it gets the job done. C's get degrees, but
Big facts.
big facts. But could be better. Could emulate the what's called the pro gamers a little bit more there. And the other factor is the fact that the Sunkens are both like completely exposed on like 300 degrees of their surface area, which means easy surrounds for Zealots if it came to that. But I think we're already too late in this game for stuff like that. In the meantime, looks like this game is just going to be a very like patient game from both players.
Yeah, I do see that both players are massing up a lot of minerals at this point. What do you think is the issue? It's just a lack of macro. Needed to get a more quicker expansion,
I think
or a
it's just
combination.
I think it's tasks at this point. Like even though they're not, they seem to not be doing much in terms of moving around the map. As I say that, I mean Buenaventura is moving around the map, but I feel like they just can't keep up with all the things that they have to do: sending probes to minerals, making units out of gateways, and here goes down the gateway in
Yeah.
order to free the units. I would much rather take down the pylon, especially since he's not yet getting +2, but this works too. He has added a bunch of gateways, recognizing that he's so rich right now.
Oh,
Uh,
and we are seeing island drop from Mr. Wizard. Good play by.
Yeah, good decision here. I think this is a nice base to take in PVZ until drops come out.
Would you say that's the first expansion you Toss should go for in this map? Just because you're going to be getting a robotics facility, and Zerg can't do much threatening unless he goes Muta, and even that can be shut down by Corsair.
I think it's situational because if you were getting like lurker contained or something like that, right? You might want to go for this base, but lurkers can shoot uphill and to kill his middle
Oh
line,
yeah,
and so can
with Early
Hydralisk, right?
Vision. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So I think that the other third is just I don't know. It's a hard thing to decide honestly.
I think in this game in particular, I think this was the correct decision.
Yeah. The other thing is that Zerg could go for drops of their own, and at that point you might find that this base is under defended and it's really hard to reinforce. I think that long term,
Right.
the low ground bases are better, but for now this is good. The Protoss does not want to move out, and actually he's just going blind zealot movements around the map, which I don't agree
Wow,
with.
we are seeing 10 gates from Mr. Wizard.
This is the
He's
right
going for a heavy pump.
this is the right number that you should have around this point. Well, even earlier, if he had the third earlier, he could have definitely had it. But adding gateways while adding Nexus is the play. And I wonder what he's doing with these zealots. He just kind of sent them. I think feel like that he just sent them just because. And oh no, these
Oh,
all
he
these
needs to
High
be
Templar.
careful with these Templar, yeah. Oh no! He
Oh,
wasted so much storm.
that magic box though. Did you see that?
That was cute.
That was like a
cute.
six man magic box. I've never seen that many Templar magic box
Welcome
at
to
once.
1400, folks. We're magic boxing up in this bit.
These storms are kind of weak. Now they're good. Great coverage here, but he's
Great
gonna lose all the
coverage.
Templar. Buenaventura is sniping.
Oof.
One more storm available. He could clean this up. Yes. Okay. But I mean, was it worth it though
No,
for
to lose
Wizard?
6 Templar, no,
I really
not at
don't
all.
think so.
Like I think the answer to that question in any situation, you never want to lose High Templar.
Yeah.
Just not at any cost.
It was just such a sloppy move out from Mr. Wizard. I don't know what his
Yeah.
game plan was. Like he sent a bunch of zealots out ahead for no reason.
Nice lurker morph at his natural 2
Yeah,
just to save his high.
I would like to see him pull back and lurker morph at the wall. That would have been the cute play. Like like make it so that his base is basically unassailable. Because like the way his hydras are being pummeled right now, I'm not so confident he can hold this. Well,
I
once
would
the
just go
lurkers,
for the run by here.
yeah,
Like,
into the main.
might as well. Yeah.
And here's the surround on the Sunkens that I said might not happen, but ended up happening. And here comes the run by that you
A
were
little
talking
too
about.
late. Yep.
Yeah, but all the zealots are bleeding hard. Two of them have good
But it's
arms.
just one more thing that Zerg has to worry about.
Hmm.
So I guess it's not a bad play. Snipe as many
Yeah.
drones as you can.
Uh-huh. And he gets one.
Wow, and a lot of workers.
But now see this is the problem. Yeah, so Mr. Wizard did not macro at all throughout that, I think. Like he's very low.
Oh yeah.
Or actually I mean he did at least one round or half a round somewhere, but now he has no answer to this lurker contain, and now this exactly what I was talking about earlier, where these lurkers can become so troublesome shooting up.
And like you said, the 6 storms that or 6 Templars that he lost, it's about to show that it's gonna hurt. These just have 75 energy, fortunately for him, but he has to cast these out right now.
Yeah, while the stack is active, and he gets 3 with that
Oh
one good.
no.
But now he's getting pushed all the way back.
Now he's contained.
Probes
Yep.
are coming, the war probes, and he does have observers on time this time, which is really good. Maybe if these games were played in order, they had to have been played in order. Maybe he's realizing now, but this is still really scary. Like he doesn't
Oh,
have
this
the army to fight back,
hurts.
And I mean, he has so much money. Look at
Yeah,
Buenaventura's
the
money.
see the problem was when I think when he was pressuring Buena's natural, he
Hmm.
wasn't macroing at all, and now this is coming to bite him in the ass.
And this third base that he took, by the way, has three probes. Only one of them is mining. And oh my god, this could be
Oh my
huge.
god. It
Oh,
target probe?
target the pros.
Target
Target.
probe?
Oh, it doesn't matter if all the army's
It
dead.
doesn't matter, yup. GG.
He still has storm too. Oh, but it doesn't matter.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll love touching yeah, there we
Ooh,
go. Flex, the post game flex.
that's brutal.
Oh
All
my
right,
god.
well, congratulations.
That's brutal just because he forgot to macro for one cycle and then that turned out to this turn out to be a loss
Hmm.
with no recovery in sight.
And it should be noted, I mean, Buenaventura did take a fourth base behind this as well.
Yep,
He
he
was.
did.
I would have rather seen him take the natural because it's a little bit easier to hold, but it still shows that like like he's better at moving his attention around the map, which I think is
Yep.
like is an important skill to have, especially as Zerg, and that's maybe why he trained it more as a lower level player. Because I would say that these players are about even, but it's just Buenaventura is better at moving his attention around the map
Right. Like
than
I
this
know like
wizard.
at the low level like people emphasize macro as like the skill to improve,
Hmm.
but I think map presence is equally as important because macro doesn't matter if you're just sitting in your base and you have
Hmm.
no idea what's going like they could be mass expanding for all you know and like
Yeah. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to say goodbye to Mr. Wizard in this tournament.
bye Mr. Wizard.
It was nice to
It was
have you.
nice casting.
Yeah, but Buenaventura buys himself another chance at life, and he's going to be moving on to the elimination match. I'm sorry, the final match against Conway Twitty, and this is gonna be the
And this
rematch.
is the run back, yep.
Yeah, I wonder if Buena's gonna pick up on something from the first game. The run back's gonna be on FS2, which I think is going to be
It's a great map to be running back.
yeah, something that Buena might probably be more comfortable with, because Heartbeat is not in the what's called in the ladder pool. Coliseum is, and it is a decent Zerg map, but maybe it doesn't get enough games on it, so we don't know. We'll see.
I'm
Final game:
excited. Yep.
Conway Twitty versus Buenaventura. And I mean, Jake Pliskin, Conway Twitty looked really strong in the first game against Buenaventura, but I think Jake Pliskin kind of exposed him as a two base wonder, right?
Yeah.
He's
That's
definitely
what it seemed like.
yeah, like his two base play is solid, and then after that he's kind of like, well, I guess I'm two base now. And speaking, no offense to Conway Twitty at all, obviously, I'm just trying to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the separate players. But Conway here spawning as the orange Terran at the top left.
On the bottom right, we have our brown Zerg, Buenaventura.
Yeah, so Buenaventura definitely going to be the fan favorite here for a lot of the people who are in the chat right now, I think, and a lot of the members of the El Master Beginner Discord. We all want to see him do well, move on, but the better player should move on from this. I feel like if Buenaventura can hold on, can avoid getting timing attacked, can have better defense against the Marine medics that might come out early from Conway, he should have a decent foothold in the later game. Because as I said, like I was impressed by the fact that he was taking a fourth base in that kind of scenario. I was impressed by the fact that he had the presence of mind to counterattack immediately and push a wizard back with superior macro. So I feel like while Conway might have the advantage in the first game and in the earlier game, I think that he will. I think that he might run into some trouble if Buenaventura really gets rolling into the mid late game. And
Right.
I just realized that I didn't have music on that whole time. I'm really sorry, guys. We can start. We can do the last game with music now. I was so busy listening to myself talk and Mr. Phaser's talk that I forgot that music was a thing. Can you imagine that, Mr. Phaser? We listen to music like 24/7. So it's, these games have been taking all of our attention. And Buenaventura hatchery a little bit late. Could have been earlier, but it's going to be 12 hatch, and it's going to look like very similar thing from Conway Twitty. Again, with the racks a little bit further
Yeah.
back than.
See, like when you have a ramp this time around, I would like it like right in front of,
Hmm.
just in case of any quick wing run by nine pool. You have the Marine just pop out and then SCV's ready to block.
Yeah, and especially if you, especially when it's facing this way, because Marines pop out on the bottom of the barracks, right? You can put it
Hmm.
directly on top of the ramp, really, if you wanted to, and it would pop out right into the defensive position where it wants to be. This, otherwise, is like a 3, 4, 5 second walk, right?
Right. Like not a game breaker, but it's
It
just
could
a
be.
minute detail.
It actually could be a game breaker if you think about it. If that's like three less seconds that your Marines are shooting at Zerglings that are
Wow,
attacking your
and a
SCVs.
ballsy command center first.
Yeah,
But
it's
fortunately for him, he does get the hatchery scout, so
mhm.
he's in good.
And this is again the 17 command. He's skipping the second depot and continuing to boost SCVs. I think it's more standard to normally go for 15 CC. You kind of
Yep,
cut
it's the
SCV
15
production.
command. Yep.
Yeah,
I believe the safer variant, if you decide to go for a marine first, is you build the supply depot and then go for the 18.
you could go for the what? I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit.
It's you go for the supply depot first around like 15, 16, and then
Hmm.
you go for the 18 command behind
Yeah,
like 2, 3 marine.
yeah, that's definitely
And
the play.
again with the quick second racks for Conway Twitty, it seems like this is his preferred build of choice for
Yeah.
opening TVZ.
Yeah, and we should see the gas soon too. I think he has the money for it. Gas and Academy should be the next two buildings, I believe. Maybe a depot in there somewhere.
I do like the depot placement at Conway's Natural.
Hmm.
Very safe, anti-ling pressure.
Yeah,
Or
we definitely learned about this yesterday casting, right? Because I was thinking to myself like, why is that there? But now I understand, right?
no, it's good to see too, like these low level players pick up on these stuff.
Hmm. They're thinking about the game. They
Yeah,
have they're not like some people call low level players bots, right? They're like, oh, you're just a bot, right? But that's like political stuff aside, like that's it's just simply not true in some of this case. Like this guy is clearly thinking.
yep, he knows exactly what to look out for.
Yep, and there's the Academy, the gas, and the third depot was the one in the natural, I presume. So, or no, that was the command center
Yep.
finishing my B, and it looks like it's just it's gonna be much more of the same for Conway. I really hope that in the future, people who are facing these opponents in the future, let's say in the next round, they look at these games, right? Because if Conway Twitty did the same build, three TVZs in a row, right? I feel like you could come up with an answer to that. Maybe seeing the fact that he's going for 17 command with one Marine, right? I would 9 pool speed this guy. I would just call him on his bluff, be like, yo, sup, I'm here with my lings. What you
Yeah,
gonna do?
and especially in the setting that he's in, a best of one, a
Yeah.
9 pull might be super effective.
Well, next round is gonna be what's called. I think it's gonna be best of three or best
Best
of
of
five,
three is
or
awesome.
maybe best of five. I don't know, but
But you do know that in a best of three, even like he's gonna pull that one out at least once.
yeah, and
So it's definitely mind games that
yeah,
come into play.
start the first game with a 9 pool speed, right? And when expecting that he does this, if he does do this and he does lose to 9 pool speed, imagine being in Conway's position. He's like, wait, I've been doing this build every game, and now I can't
Right.
do it no more because it just got shut down so hard, right?
And while we're talking about that, Buenaventura does scout with his link this time around that Marines are pushing. So I would love.
Sunkens.
Yep, he does. He does put down 2 Sunkens.
And actually, Conway is doing what I talked about earlier as well. He kind of stopped in the middle. But now, no, yeah, no, he's going back. Yes, very nice, very nice, very nice. And no Sunkens yet out of Buenaventura. I think that might be a mistake. And Conway changing his mind again, tricking the casters, sending in the medics now as well. And the Sunkens are coming up.
Yeah, all in all, I think it's still good play. You force the Sunken, delay
Hmm.
his tech. This is exactly what the Terran wants to do.
Hmm.
Interesting enough, we do see a lurker opening from Buenaventura, so slightly different from your traditional 3 hatch mutant.
I like this choice, honestly, from him. As a player who maybe not mechanically that gifted, right? Like lurker opening feels like a safe way to get a third base, and
For sure.
it could abuse a player that doesn't know that you need to contain with your marine medic against lurker, for example. If he gets map control with these lurkers and gets himself a third base, I think he's in a comfortable spot going forward. And no factory at all for Conway Tweedy. Let's see where he scanned. Actually, I'm gonna pause real quick. I just want to make sure that he scanned the Hydra Den. Yes, he did. No, wait, that's an Evo chamber. And no, oh, he doesn't see it. Phasers, he doesn't see it.
Oh god.
He does not see the Hydra Den. Great placement from Buenaventura.
And this
Very
was
smart.
with both scans?
Both scans, main and Nat, did not see it. He
Ooh.
only saw an Evo chamber, which might be his only giveaway tell. But I'm not so sure. He's pulling
Timing
back.
wise, I think he's good enough to recognize that he's spending large.
Ooh, that's a good point as well. Yeah.
Because if I saw that around like the 6:40 minute mark, and I'm seeing that he's spending larva,
Hmm.
that might be a
Dude, that's a great point, actually. I didn't think of that. Thank you for being here because that's something that Conway could definitely pick up on for next time. If he didn't figure it out, then that's something. Because look at him, he's building so many
He's
turrets in his
building
main.
turrets. He's assuming Muta right now.
5 turrets in his main base. That's so
Oh my
overkill. He
god.
has 3 turrets in his natural, and this is exactly what Buenaventura needed, I think.
Yep, and he's opting for fast queen. So this is he's gonna open
Two
lurker
base, two
into
base hive.
swarm.
Wow. Okay, this might be really devastating for him because we see no factory yet for Conway. So he spent so many minerals on those turrets. I mean, think about it, 8 turrets.
Dude,
No,
5 turrets?
nine
Holy
turrets.
fuck, that's an investment.
He,
Yeah.
he has 9 turrets. That's 765
I think
minerals.
I think in this case Conway got caught autopiloting.
Yeah, and this is something that if he advances past this, other Zergs should be able to notice. And
Wow.
he,
Great Hydra placement though. Hydra Den.
yeah,
This is exactly what he needs.
and he hid the lurkers too in his main base. By the way, did you notice that?
Wow.
So now he's be careful. He's gonna
And
definitely
he's
secure
going around? Oh my god.
if he secures this third and like with 1 lurker on the ramp maybe or 2, and then
Dude, maybe not even securing the third. If he goes around and goes for a run by backdoor, this could
ooh,
work out for him.
put it in the middle of the map, catch any recent
Oh my
reinforcements.
god.
But I mean, he actually doesn't really need to be that aggressive right now. I think, right?
He's opting for the aggression.
He needs to have that hive coming. That's what he needs right now. As
Yeah,
I
the
was saying.
hive is key.
And the third base.
Especially if you're opening for a quick lurker.
Yeah.
That's what makes lurkers so dead. Not the lurkers itself, but
Mhm.
the fact that you have a fast defiler tech
Mhm.
behind it.
And look at this. Conway is searching everywhere for these armies, but he
Oh
can't
my
find it.
god.
He
He
has
be prepared.
eight marines
Oh my
and
god,
like
he's supposed to retreat. Good reaction.
yeah. And we need some more forward movement. Oh, but
Much more forward movement. Yep, forces are retreating back. Wow, it's a lot of medic.
yeah, a lot of medic, but no like static, no bunker, right? He's killing the turret, which I really like, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, careful with the movement though. Oh, the Marines
does
are
like
actually not in a
one
great.
lurker.
They're not in a great
They're
place.
not in a good spot at all.
This is
The
gonna do.
SimCity is actually hurting him this time.
Yeah, and
Oh, but he's coming back with reinforcing units.
oh, but he's targeting
He's gonna
the
lose all his
comsat.
lurkers. Does he have enough scan? He does have one more scan.
He's targeting the comsat station,
Oh
which
my
I think
god,
is a
oh my
mistake.
god,
He
oh
could
my
do
god.
so much damage here
Oh
if he
my
didn't
god.
do this.
No!
Oh, eat him!
Ah!
Oh, he
That
killed him one.
hurt. A little too late.
Wait,
But fortunately for him, Buena does start his hive tech, and he has 7 more lurkers that just morphed.
ooh.
So wow.
He can, if he burrows them like in the middle of the map
Dude,
somewhere.
I really would have liked to see that stray lurker target those marines. That might have been a
Yeah.
game changer.
Yeah, and I think Conway killed one of his own marines to make up for it. But Buena needs to split up these lurkers. That's where they will be the strongest
Oh
if
my
they split up.
god.
Wait. No, don't go all with all of them. Oh my god. Oh, he knows. It's too late now. He's gonna get enveloped. Let's see the
Did he
marine
get
micro.
buffalo?
Burrow. The
4
reaction.
marine micro
Nice.
right there.
Nice scan though.
Wow.
But
Got
lurkers
a
are
lot of mileage off that.
good units.
Very,
Jesus.
very good.
Jesus Christ! And now he can't just keep pushing with these 5. It's going to take him forever to leapfrog. He needs the hive. Hive is on the way. He needs the third base. It started way later than it should have. He needs lurkers
Although we do
defensively.
see 2 dropships from Conway ready, this might be
Ooh.
a game changer.
Yeah, and no swarm. Science facility is also up as well. No, I'm sorry. I didn't say no swarm. I meant no spire. So nothing.
Oh my god, and he catches him while he's loading? Good retreat, good retreat.
He needs to push with like a couple of lurkers at a time, and I think that's what he's gonna be doing now.
Yep, 2 more to reinforce. Yep. I would like to see him leapfrog quicker.
Yeah.
Because this is just gonna put so much pressure on Terran.
And I think that siege mode's not done. No,
It
yeah,
is
no,
done!
okay.
Oh my god!
He's in range. He's in range with a siege
Great
tank.
scan, great scan.
More lurkers. He needs more He needs more links to follow this up.
This might be ambitious.
He needs more links for this. He has so much money. He can make more links. His hive is done. He needs the fire mount. He needs upgrades. He needs to look around the map. He needs to add all this stuff. He can't just
Well,
be.
let's see if Buena's paying attention, because the dropship is about to land that as natural.
he has only
It's gonna
hydras and
cause
links
a lot
here.
of damage.
Wait, but it's only
Oh
it's
my
only
god, he's going straight for the main.
but it's only 3 marines, 2 medics. That's all he could afford to pull away from that attack.
Oh my god.
If he doesn't notice this,
He's not dropping?
wait,
Not
who's
dropping?
who's gonna notice first? What?
It's a game of noticing,
Yeah.
awareness.
That's exactly what this
Oh,
game has been.
about to drop. But unfortunately for him, he only has 4 marines. But this might be enough to do damage. Buena still does not notice that he's getting. He's gonna lose all his drones here.
It's 3 marines and 2 medics, and but this is a really
boy.
annoying spot for it. And yeah, still no recognition from Buena. Too much going on for him right now. Mass Zergling's coming out way too late. 1,500 minerals in the bank though, so he can resupply. But if these Medic Marine, like, they take out a spawning pool, or the
Yeah, that would be huge.
spawning pool would be hella annoying for him. Or the Hydra Den. Okay, but the Lings are
Yeah, the
coming back
lanes
now.
are just in time. Yep. Good awareness to
Oh,
reload.
stim and lift, yo. Stim and lift. Very sick. And now he's going to try to take out this third base, or at least harass here. There's 3 drones here, right, ready for taking only 1 lurker. And I feel like Buena's losing a lot of steam here.
Yeah, I think the pressure is getting to him.
And Conway Twitty proving me wrong. He's taking that third base. He's not a 2-base hero no more. Oh, but nice burrow from the lurker
Oh my
here.
god, he needs to be careful at center. Yep.
Oh, the vessels are flying past. Nice retreat though. He realizes
Dude, this is close.
he actually does not have a lot in his natural. I mean, he just got a round of Marines out, but he needs more. He needs more barracks. And I mean, Buena's taking decent engagements throughout all of this. Really, the lurker here is going to defend the drop.
Great burrow position right here.
Yeah, between is a radiate done? Is a radiate even? It has. He has the
It's
energy for it.
not. He has energy. Yeah. This would be super helpful for him.
Yo, wait, imagine if the lurker goes into the third base right now for Conway. That could be a problem for him.
He does see that. He does have a Ling over there, so he does know that Conway has a third.
Oh, he doesn't. It's just out of the vision.
Oh
He
my
has
god.
never scouted that far.
He does not see the gas?
He doesn't see the gas.
Oh my god.
He never went far enough into the base. You can tell from the vision.
Yup, it does not seem like he has Irradiate, as
Yeah.
he threw down a defensive matrix. That's the I don't have Irradiate build.
I mean, we saw the I don't have EMP yesterday, right? So like, onto the siege tank, right? Well, now
Oh
we have
man,
the I don't
Buena
have
needs to bounce back. His main is still unsaturated. Seems like that drop did more damage than it should have.
and 0 hive tech play so far. Like, no Ultralisk Cavern, no Defiler Mound, and he still has the money for it. He could add another hatchery just to repopulate real quick. There's the Spire now, the Defiler Mound, at the same time. He needs to start mining gas then in order to
Yep.
expend these minerals then.
I feel like at this point in time, time is in Conway's favor.
Absolutely. 3 base versus 3 base, economic advantage, double the supply. Only 2 drones on gas for Buenaventura. There's no way you can go Defiler and Scourge
Wow,
and
and
Lurker.
4 vessel.
Yeah. And
And
dropships.
6, 2 actually chilling at his main.
Dude, Conway's looking solid. He looked a little shaky against Jake Pliskin. I think Jake Pliskin
Yeah.
did a number on him a little bit.
Yeah,
But-
no, at this point, if he doesn't have Defiler, it's not a good look, because with Siege Tank, he can just poke at his natural. Lurkers aren't going to be enough.
This is a very small force, but it's definitely enough. It's 3 Sunkens, 2 Lurkers, and a Zergling. I feel like
Yup, and we see more reinforcing units coming to Buenaventura, so I don't know, dude. This
and
might be it.
yo, Conway learning from the previous games, using his positional advantage. Look at that. He's taking his 4th and 5th base now. I bet you at the top
Yup.
right. Very
Yup,
strong
now
play.
he has Irradiate. This spells trouble for Buenaventura.
Maybe Conway was just being like, like I don't want to say overconfident, but like he wasn't feeling the heat. And then now that he's in the final match, he's like, yo, I'm 1-1,
Yeah,
and
it's time to step up.
it's
Yep.
time to step up. He's stepping up. He's pulling out all the stops. Look at that, 80 supply advantage. Still needs a few
Wow.
more racks. Still could do a mech transition if he wanted to, but he has 4 vessels in his main and 6 vessels. This is a veritable vessel cloud at this point.
I don't even think Consume has started. This is desperation.
Yeah, and
He's just making Lurker.
he's making Hydra, yeah, and Lurker. I don't see how much longer Buena can hold this. This is really not going to last that long. He could honestly just 1A2A3 with this, I think, if you just
Yeah,
put
because
D-Matrix.
even if he does get the Defiler, like, what are you gonna do against 6 vessel? Ready to pop down Irradiate?
10 vessel, my guy. 10 vessel.
10. Oh my god. Dude, this rally is scary too.
Yeah, the support, 2 tanks, another
This
like
is a
12
4
Marines.
GG.
Yeah, the timing. Oh my god, he could just irradiate all the combat units from Buena right now. Every single lurker,
Looks
every
like
single...
that's exactly what he's going for, the 1A, 2A.
Yeah,
He knows he's got this in the bag.
yeah, wow. Pop, pop.
That was a quick turnaround, and he's getting his 4th, adding insult to injury.
Yup. Just securing that lead.
And
Oh!
that's one thing I like to see at this level of play, where like, if you know you have the lead, why not just throw down that quick expand?
Yeah,
Like, what's stopping you from that?
and especially as Terran, worst case scenario, what are you gonna do? Lift, right? What's the problem? You know what I'm saying? You lift.
Let me land that later.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be back, yo. Like, just float it over the water here. And
Wow,
GG from
good
Buena.
game.
Poor, poor, poor Buenaventura also gets knocked
Like
out.
I think there's a window where Buena had it in the bag, but
Hmm.
like especially when he had the six lurkers at Conway's front. But the
Hmm.
problem was that there wasn't any links to support that,
Yeah.
and once Conway was able to fend that off, he took advantage with dropship, which did a lot more damage than I thought. And then he just got enough vessel to just run train.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I feel like Buenaventura, despite what I was saying earlier about having like like a better map awareness, better attention movement around the map, like looking at different places of the map. I think
Hmm.
like he was on max adrenaline in that situation. Like he
Yeah.
was only looking at the lurkers and the lurkers only. He didn't have time to go back and utilize the Queen's Nest to get the early hive, which would
No,
have been
and
super
Conway
helpful.
took a break there too. Like he thought mutas were on the way, and then
Yeah.
next thing you know, lurkers were up at his front. So he definitely caught a break.
Hmm. He spent 765 minerals on Mutalisk, and it's
Wow.
probably because Jake Pliskin was still fresh in his memory, right? Because
Yeah,
those
right.
Mutalisk were doing
I'd be
so much.
too, dude. I'd be too if I was getting muta harassed like that.
All right, well, congratulations to Conway for joining Jake Pliskin.
Congratulations. Good
The,
showing.
yeah, advancing to the round of 8 for the Rookie Star League. I want to give a quick shout out to Least, who organized this event for all of us and all the players and all the viewers here today. Big shout outs to all the viewers today. We have so many more people than I expected. We have 42 people watching right now, so thank you all for coming in. Thank you
Yeah,
for the
shout outs to all
follows.
the viewers, dude.
Yeah, you guys are great. You guys made conversation interesting in the chat. Asked good questions, discussed good, interesting things. I enjoyed having you guys. Big shout outs to Gel. I noticed this. I said this yesterday too. I was like, all right, everyone, say goodbye to Jealous, and you're like, bye, and then you left. I meant say goodbye to Phasers. Phasers, who is our co-caster. You got any shout outs additionally?
You already know, dude. The Zen and LKM boys, Jessen, you already know.
Word. Shiro Ime asking, do you know if every match will be casted or only some? I think that every match will be casted. We did groups B and C. Group A is going to be casted by Jake Pliskin and I believe Neblime tomorrow. And Group D is still in the up in the air, but I'm sure we'll sort it out. So that just about covers it for us here. Thank you for making time today, Phasers.
Yep.
And
Thanks for having me. I'll be around more for sure, guys.
yeah, we'll be casting CPL, RSL, other stuff. We'll be around. So make sure to tune in and see you guys next time.